I know playing a D1 sport may take away from that, but if it's important to her, I will support it.
Awesome. Okay, cool. So that kind of brings me to this. I kind of want to give you my opinion on your current situation. Is that okay?
Yes.
So first of all, I got to watch, all of the clips that you guys sent me. And the first red flag to some degree is, and I know maybe you, as you mentioned, you're putting video together. You can't send that out to college coaches. As amazing as actually you are as a soccer player, that you cannot send. They won't watch it. It's not organized as much as there are circles. It's not a highlight video. It's just a bunch of random clips. So when Ivy League schools want a video, they want it to look like you would turn in an essay that you would one day do for the application process. So right now, my semi-concern is we want to go to an Ivy League school, but that's not ready to go. Now, that's a format perspective. We can fix that. From a soccer perspective, which I cannot fix overnight, I can fix a video in 10 minutes. To fix the soccer part, I cannot do in 10 minutes. And you're a good soccer player, Miss Anna. There's a couple clips I'm going to show you, but there's a lot of potential. You're definitely a right back. I could see you maybe playing as an inverted right back, depending on the team. I can tell your team plays possession-based football. I was going to ask your mom if she was a coach after she used that terminology, because obviously you're being educated very well by your coach. This concept of, playing through lines and wanting to keep the ball, as you know, and the right coach. And this is really what you're going to be looking for, which is it's a benefit to you and also a curse, because the right coach will really want you a lot, which is kind of was my case. But the other coaches will not care for you at all. And if you're a striker and you score a bunch of goals, everybody likes you. If you're same with your winger, even if you're a center back, you kick the ball far away, coaches like you. As a right back and kind of as a 6, which is kind of my role, the coach either really wants you because you fit the system or it has no desire for you, even if you're good. And at this point, it's not just about being good, it's about being seen. The other dilemma is you as a 2027, correct?
Yeah.
As a 2027, and I'm sure you guys have heard this and everything, I was at I grew up in Malibu, and I was at the Pepperdine camp, and the coach of Pepperdine was my coach when I was like 5 years old. So I got to be really close with him, and he just had a camp, and the Cal Berkeley coach was there, and we played pro soccer together. He's a male coach, and he's at Cal Berkeley, maybe not an Ivy League, but high academic. And he was saying, he expects threads from girls in 8th, 9th grade, so he can see their videos for many years before making a decision. So having said that, not that you haven't sent them emails out, and that's not a good thing, but on my personal timeline, which is aggressive, kind of like I mentioned, you are behind in my process. I know that to give you an idea, the top academic schools are all done recruiting in August of your junior year going into your senior year, like done. So having said that, it's important to start the process, which you guys know. The next thing is communication. So what I'm going to do, first I want to show you this clip real quick that I saw. That I just wanted to share with you. So one of the things we will do video, that's why you guys play good soccer. Having said that, it's important that I also want to give you feedback from a CollegeSoccer-specific individual. Like, his job is to help your team win. I don't care about your team other than if you go to playoffs and that's helpful, but otherwise I don't care. So like in this very small instance, first of all, this clip is not a highlight video. Okay, this is an every touch video. You cannot put this in your highlight video. Second is, from a coach perspective, they would love to see this, but right here, see how you're way behind your back 4 here? Can you see that?
Yeah.
Okay, so that is an error. That's wrong.
Yeah.
Now, as it happens, there's a winger over here, so it makes sense why you're doing it, but that's not your job. Your job is this group. So what I'm saying is, I'm not the first coach who's going to recognize that, and that should not be in the second clip of your highlight video. This is fine in an every touch video. When in this moment right here, this is a great decision, because now your center back is in line with you, and whether or not you should press or stay. And this is very scary, because if she plays a ball here, you will be caught out. Instead, you could do great timing and a great anticipation, and it's A+, amazing. So I would obviously have cut the clip to be a little bit different, but on top of that, we want to talk to you about these types of things, which leads me to, okay, so sorry, does that make sense, Miss Anna?
Yeah.
Okay, so that leads me to, go ahead, sorry. Was that your mom?
That's helpful. Her dad is the one that tried putting these together, and he played college soccer. You would think he would know that, but
I mean, and what's amazing, it is amazing, and it's cool that he played college soccer. And the fact that your father played college soccer is something we need to leverage in your emails, actually, because there's very few of them that do that. And we could talk about playing in front of boys, which is a really big leverage point, which you've maybe seen in my videos. But here's the way I see it. So first of all, from your father's perspective, no critique, but like you cannot send that out. That's non-negotiable. So it has to be what we call a highlight video, and then we would send every touch videos. And then if we have individual clips, we can do that separate from that. So the first thing is I need to fix your video. The second thing is I know you've already sent a bunch of emails. Like you wrote like 50 to 100 emails already. So I need to see the conversations you've had, including coaches saying, we're not ready for you or whatever they said. I also need to see what you wrote. And I don't want to say anything away from your father, but basically I've sent over literally 100,000 emails a year for the last 4 years. And I've received that. And so now I'm like, this is what needs to be said and how it should be said, etc. So that's kind of where the audit comes in. You're playing for a good club team. I know your team. I did some more research, like how you guys did this year before our call. Like you're playing in places where you can be seen. Now, statistically, there are more girls who play D1 soccer playing ECNL. That is just a statistic. Now, having said that, we have last year we had 2 girls who played GA who played D1. It's very possible, but you do have to do more than some other people. Does that make sense? Did I lose you guys? Hello. Did I lose you guys? Did I lose you guys? I can try calling you on your cell phone.
Sorry about that.
No worries. No worries. Can you guys? Oh, you're back. I was FaceTiming your mom. Okay, perfect.
It's over 100 degrees here.
Yeah, I figured it overheated. I know. It's brutal. No worries. I totally get it. Can you guys, what was the last thing I said? Do you remember?
Are you talking about GA? Yeah.
Okay. You guys, okay, GA. So I was just saying in GA, you have lots of exposure, but you still are up against some other girls who will get more exposure, although your team is very good with the national team and everything else. So you will have places for exposure. We do want, though, it's very important to maybe mention that in the emails. So-and-so is playing for the national team. I'm playing with her. Those are important comments. So that goes to basically me saying, as I'm putting together what I call your plan of action, I'm saying, here are the steps I'm thinking about for you. And this is the step 1. Now, you've already started step 2, which is you've sent emails. You want to see who likes you, but there's concern. Do they need a right back? Do they play good soccer? Does the coach like me? So we need to talk about this. And then this is where you're not yet, but I'd like to get you to soon, is who do you like? I don't want you to think of yourself as a 2027. I mean, you are 2027, but like the cycles start earlier. Does that make sense? So you're not really, you don't have like 2 years to get recruited. You have a year to get recruited, because for girls soccer, everything's advanced. Now, here's the good news.
Yeah.
We keep talking, rightfully so, about academics, and that's amazing. The students who want to go to the top academic schools are most of the time given a pre-read, which is to say you will know if you're going to get into the school before you apply, which is, they don't even do that for regular students who are exceptional students, which is crazy, right? You'd think they would prioritize a very good student, but they don't. They prioritize athletes. So we have a student right now who just got a pre-read back from a top academic D3 program, and they're like, you're going to get into the school. Like, congratulations. That's basically an offer. So from your perspective, the good news is by playing soccer, we can actually find out if you're going to get into the school sooner than you would otherwise know. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that's really cool.
Yeah. Okay. So I do want to say this one last piece to my steps for you. Because we care about academics first, which is correct. The problem is you love soccer, and I'm trying to scare you away today, and your mom will try to, and maybe your dad too. But even though academics come first, you will be miserable if you don't like your coach. So as much as academics come first, we have to find a coach for you that you like and likewise likes you. Does that make sense? Okay. So having said that, this is the next thing I just want to show you. So you guys probably at your club, I think you guys use Scouting Zone. Is that true? Yeah.
Yes.
So nothing's wrong with Scouting Zone. You might even get emails from them. Here's the problem. These companies pay your club. They pay everybody. They get paid. I just don't know what to trust. That's the problem. I'm not saying there's not some truth to them, but they don't do a couple key things. First of all, they obviously didn't edit your video, or if they did, then that's its own problem. But I have to edit all your videos. I want to touch every video you ever make for the rest of your life, because that's how important it is to have good video. The other thing is, if you send emails from these accounts, like, let me ask you this. The emails that you sent, is it from Scouting Zone?
No.
Okay, good.
No.
Good. So you can't use those sites just because you never know what's real. So the AI system you guys saw, that is obviously your own account, which is super important. And then I want you to be able to talk to me all the time, which they don't do. And the biggest thing is they claim to have this platform. And the concept is great. Platform, post your videos, coaches come and find you, easy peasy lemon squeezy. But there's literally on NCSA, they work with like 800,000 athletes. How are they supposed to pick somebody?
Yeah.
It doesn't make sense. So in my scenario, I only work with one player per position per grad year. So I will not work with another right back who's a 2027 with your grades. Does that make sense? Okay.
Yeah.
So when it comes to price, your price will be cheaper than this. I'm going to talk about that in a second, only because there's a couple reasons. One, I really liked your video from the soccer part. The other reason is I know your club and I have arrangements. So we'll talk about that in a second. The other big thing is when we're talking about your situation, these companies will put you in a contract, and whether it works or not, you can't get out of it. In my case, I'll show you if it's not working, it's not working, and then I'll give you your money back. The other thing I want to say, whether you need a scholarship or not, and maybe you do, maybe you don't, scholarships are important for two reasons. One, it's the coach's way to propose their love to you. Let's say they like you. Great. Do they like you more than the person they gave money to? Maybe not. So scholarships, it's a message. It's not just a financial aspect. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
There is some money to make in women's soccer now. Like, you could actually get paid, but we can talk about that later. It is limited, but it does exist. And then the final piece is, look, with your grades, with the schools we're going to, so far, the students we've worked with, you're getting a minimum of $60,000 to $80,000 over the course of 4 years. So having said that, here's the next piece. For you, Anna, we're going to have to go through a lot of stuff. Your emails, I got to make it. We have to have a Twitter. You have to have an Instagram. You have to do all those aspects. It's a lot of work. So I guess my question to you is, if I started to scare you away at all?
No.
Okay. Sorry, Mom. Bad luck. So that brings me to this. When I'm working with students, girls, for example, the majority of our students are boys. I'm a boy. I tend to attract boys. Having said that, we have 40% girls and 60% boys, but most of the girls that we work with have played D1. I think it's a combination of, if a girl does find me through social media, they're good soccer players with good grades. So where boys, they could be anywhere from a 3.3 to a 4.0. So it just varies. But we do have more girls playing D1 than we do boys, as it happens. So that brings me to this. I want to show you this real quick. So the first thing is, when we're working with you, we have meetings every Sunday. So you mentioned Vanderbilt, you mentioned Alabama. These are schools where we do have girls who are either currently being recruited because they're a year older than you, or they are going to these schools. Like, we have a girl at Portland, at Boston, at Montana, Alabama. So I want you to talk to them and be like, what's the coach like? Hey, I'm at the ID camp. Can I say hi to you? Coaches recognize that you say hello to them. But I'm not allowed to call coaches for you. So this is my workaround. I'm like, this is the clever workaround. Does that make sense? And if one of these players says, hey, she's a great person, like, I already know her, the coach will be like, that's amazing. And that gets, bigger as we go. The other thing is, you're going to get a one-on-one coach. So you will get me and this one-on-one coach. My job is, I'm looking up your camps. I got to fix your emails. I have to watch every team that I think might be a good style of play for you, create your list. But if there's a coach who you're going to meet with one-on-one, and frankly, that coach who I'm going to connect you with has committed more girls than I have. So at this point, I'm monitoring everything, but I want you to work with a coach who specializes in getting girls recruited. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. So that brings me to then, you guys saw this in the email, but I want you to message us all the time. So we're going to have you message us on Discord. Your mom is welcome to that. I got to edit your video. So the video you're going to give us, I'm going to turn this into a highlight video, a proper highlight video. Then we will also make every touch videos. And with you, because you are a very good player for your age, I think D1 is realistic. Ivy League is a reach today, only because you, like, when you do eventually, you've been going to their camps, but when they ask you, how's it going on June 15th, you know, or after that, they're going to say, like, who else have you spoken to? And you have to have been able to answer, I've had many phone calls. You can't say I haven't spoken to anybody. Does that make sense? Especially top academics. Top academics, like if you're being recruited by NYU, Johns Hopkins, Carnegie Mellon, then okay, it makes sense that you're also talking to Dartmouth. But if you're not, they're like, look, that's a red flag. It just doesn't add up.
Yeah.
Okay. So the other thing is we got to go through the game video review. So like, hey, I went through with it a little bit of you already. I need to like sometimes say, hey, we just watched your full game because we edited it, but here's some things I noticed for your college coaches. You need to do this next time. Like there's a famous male soccer player named Alexander Arnold who hits these balls from a right back all the way to the left mid. That's a key thing for you if you want to play D1. So here's the moment in the game you could have done that. Let's talk about it. So then next time I can have it on video. Okay. And then you saw the AI in the Google Drive. And then to work with me, it's a lifetime deal. So I'm with you for life. So through college, let's say, God forbid, you have to transfer, your coach gets fired. You know, one of the big things, especially for women, is we want to find you a coach that's a good human. And like we had a student recently who was made an offer. It was the Boston student whose phone number is here so you can talk to them as well. Is this student committed to Boston and then the coach got fired. So then we were like, oh my gosh, what do we do? So we sorted it out and the new coach liked her. So that one would happen to be easy, but we're with you for life. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. And the last thing is this. If in the first 3 months you're not being genuinely recruited, then I fire myself and I say, look, I thought you were really good and I thought my system is really good. I thought we were good. We could help you, but I was wrong. And then you get your money back and we go our separate ways. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay.
Definitely.
So here's the last thing. I love your personality over this call. I think college coaches will also love your personality over this call. And I can tell it's driven by you. I know your mom is literally driving perhaps, but you are driving this process. And that's what the type of students I like to work with because it's a lot of work and we have to do it through you. Having said that, you're not allowed to work with me today. Okay, I need you to think about this, talk to your father, talk to everybody because it's a big decision. Having said that, let's say you have to work with me today, Miss Anna. You don't have a choice. What questions might you have for me?
Yeah.
If nothing comes to mind, can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
So my first question to you would be, why do you think you're a good candidate to work with me? Mind you, I can only work with one student per position. So once I'm with you, we are quote unquote married for the next long time. So why do you think that I can help you?
I think I'm a very coachable person. So if you're going to give me feedback, I'm going to take it and I can learn from it. But I also on the academic standpoint, since you said academics are very important, I mean, the academics are important to me too. Obviously, as you've seen from my GPA. So I think I would be a good fit for everything you talked about, especially in your video. And I just agreed with everything that you said. So I think we would be good partners together.
Okay, I love that. I like that answer. And coaches are going to ask you a very similar question to that when it comes to, why are you part of my team? So let me ask your mom the similar question. Michelle, if you have if you had to work with me today, are there any questions that come to mind?
I couldn't see how much the cost was because my old eyes and
okay, no problem. It's no problem. It's sorry about that. It's $5,000 for life.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
That's
I appreciate
important.
that. That is something that would need to discuss as a family, but that was the main concern that I had. I feel comfortable with things that you shared and things that you already know how to do, your experience talking with coaches. One example that comes to mind is if there are two camps on the same day and
made a video of how you handled that situation. It wouldn't have been something I would have known to do or thought of. So I like the bluntness. I like, I wouldn't say aggressive, but just forward, demeanor and how you handle talking with the coaches, because that is something that we don't have experience with. And the climate for soccer has changed so much since the mid-90s when my husband went through the process. It's very different now. So he doesn't have any experience in it. Things have changed so much. So we were looking for guidance in that way. Her coaches and the director of coaching have offered to help, but they don't have the time or the capacity to help all the girls. So it's on us. I know how to handle the academic side and how to internships and how to make her stand out that way. It's the soccer part that I don't know how to help with. So I feel like we're doing what we can on that end scholastically, but not for soccer. So if you need her to do more through balls and that kind of stuff, if you tell her, she'll do it and make it happen. We just don't know what we don't know, I guess, if that's helpful.
Yeah, super helpful. And I think, look, the fact that your father played soccer is something like we should add in the emails. That's a big deal. But then also, I want you to find the right place. And one of the concerns is, are you doing everything possible? I can tell you right now, while you are trying to, like, the analogy I'd give you is you have a beautiful boat. It's really fast. It's a great boat, but it's got a bunch of holes in it. And it's too competitive, this environment. It's just way too competitive to have holes in the boat. So I appreciate what your mom has mentioned there. That's really helpful. And I think as we discuss the ID camps, for example, which ones to choose, we'll have a better idea of to answer what we should do in those situations. So here's the last thing. In the contract, it says the following. If your grades drop below a 3.8, we will not work together. And if your mom and you have a different standard, we'll stay to whatever standard you tell us. That's number one. Number two, if you don't give me video, which I already have, but if you don't continue to get me video, then I'll fire you because I cannot help you without the video. And then number three, if you don't come to meetings and message us, which I would not be here talking if I didn't think you would, then we will also fire you. And then thirdly is if you don't see genuine recruiting within 3 months, then we're fired. You can fire us. And that's the next stage. Lastly, because I only work with one player per position, I have to have an answer in 24 hours. If in 24 hours you have a question and you say, oh, we have one question, that's no problem. You can ask me and you can have my email. But if you guys say, hey, we need 2 weeks, I don't have that time, unfortunately. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. So just so I have an idea, this is for your mom. I want you guys to talk about the price with your husband and everything else. Aside from that for a minute, let's assume we're going to get her a scholarship so it offsets some of that cost. Are you in the yes, maybe, or no section? Just so I have an idea.
Yes.
Anna, how do you feel?
I think this would be a great opportunity.
Okay.
So
all right, good. So think about it. I want you guys to take your time, think about it over. And then if you have any questions, I just emailed everything over and then you can just let me know.
Great. I appreciate your time today. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
Have a good one, guys. Talk soon.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you.
Okay, can you guys hear me okay? Hello, everybody. I think I'm late to another meeting. I am late to another meeting.
Recording in progress.
Hello, everyone. Can you guys hear me? Hello, boss. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good, thank you. Can I confirm your parents are with you?
Yes,
Yes.
sir.
Hello, everybody. Thanks so much for joining. I really appreciate it. I'm excited to talk to everybody. Just before we start, can I ask who found me first?
I found you on social media.
Oh, very cool. Which social media were you using?
Instagram.
Amazing. And what did you tell your parents about me?
I said it could help me get like a good start with my recruiting and like help like kind of boost my name out there earlier than a lot of other people.
There's definitely some truth to that, and that's something that we want to work on. Absolutely. And before we begin, there was like a long video I tried to make everybody watch. Did you guys get a chance to see that?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Thank you so much for watching that. I really appreciate it. So having said that, the goal today, can I kind of jump into that?
Yes, sir.
Cool. The goal today is I want to interview you so I can get to know you a bit better. I watched your video and I have your information, so we'll talk about that. And then I want you to interview me, your parents included. You've been watching my videos and they saw the longer one, but I want you guys to talk to me and be like, is this guy legit, etc. And then I want to see if I can scare your son away from playing college soccer entirely. Because if I can scare him away, then mom, you can just relax and your gorgeous kitchen, you can stay and we'll have mocktails or cocktails, whatever you like. And don't have to go driving like a maniac. So those are the goals. Having said that, I want to ask your son a couple questions first. Is that okay?
Yes.
Okay. So, Andrew, tell me a little bit about what you've done thus far from a recruiting perspective. Just go ahead and brag to me for a minute.
Well, so I have a big Google Doc, probably has about 80, 90 schools in it that I have in D1, D2, D3, and I have like the emails of those coaches. And I've emailed a couple coaches my video, but I've like tried not to do too many because I like struggle with like really what to say in the emails, like the format. So I haven't wanted to like send a bunch of mass emails to a bunch of schools without like a good like written out email.
Okay. Good to know. Thank you for saying that. And as of now, and I am aware of your age, but I just want to be clear. As of now, have you texted or had any phone calls with any college coaches?
No, sir.
Have you anybody mentioned coming on a visit in the fall?
No, sir.
Okay. And if I were to ask you what you want the most help with, what would you say that is?
Probably just like getting more exposure and like finding out how to like contact these schools and like for them to like create a video that will like make them like want to like get to know me more and like just help me like recruiting wise.
Okay, got it. And amazing. Okay, perfect. And having said that, if I asked your mom a similar question, what do you think he needs the most help with? What would you say?
Probably finding what would be the best fit for him school-wise, because I'm more concerned about his education. I would like for him to go to a better school, and just seeing where that fits in, with soccer.
Got it. Okay. And I hope it's clear. I hope my video was clear. And I understand your mom's position, which is the one I like, but I want to ask your son, would you agree that academics come first?
Yes, sir.
Perfect. So one of the things to your mom's point, because academics do come first, is why do you want to play college soccer? Why do you want to put us through all this? Your mom mentioned academics come first. Why bother with this soccer thing?
I don't really know. I've been playing since I was like 4, and that's just kind of always been the thing to me. And like, it's just, that's how I spend like all my days or most of my days just playing soccer. It's just something I enjoy doing. So I just want to continue that in college. And also it'd be nice to get a little bit of money off my college too. Like, I'm not like in desperate need of like full scholarship, but like getting a little bit of money off college would be nice.
Well said. And if I asked your mom, I understand that academics come first. I agree. However, your son, I'm going to try and scare him away today, but we'll see if I do. Having said that, why do you want to see him play college soccer? Why do you want to help him play college soccer?
Well, it's just something that he wants to do. I mean, if he wants to continue to do it, I hate to make him say, no, you can't play in college, because I know that the window, I won't just be like, okay, high school, you're done, especially since he's only got 3 more years of high school left. But it's just something for him. It's not us. It's always been what he wanted.
Makes sense. Yeah, that makes sense. So having said that, what I'd like to do is kind of give you, Andrew, my opinion on your current situation. Is that okay?
Yes, sir.
So your parents obviously mentioned academics come first, which is great. And you do have a good GPA, 3.7. That's awesome. Typically, when students have above a 3.5, our students get a minimum of $20,000 in academic scholarship. And people will say, well, that's just academic. But the truth is, college coaches have limited resources, so they'll go tell the academics that they like them as a soccer player, and that's how they get the money. So we don't really care where it comes from, but having above a 3.5 is super helpful from a financial perspective. So that's that. Now, more importantly, you want to go to a great academic school. Now, given your grades, every single kid with above a 3.6 GPA wants to go to the same 25 schools. And you had mentioned you have a big list, which is awesome. So my first thing is this. If you want to go to a top academic school, this is for your mom too, soccer can be really helpful because they can help you get in, but also you don't have like the traditional sophomore year, junior year, senior year. You do not have senior year at all, and you lose much of your junior. So if you want to go to a top academic school, they are done recruiting in August of your junior year. Does that make sense?
Yes, sir.
Okay. The other thing is the top academic D3 schools especially can talk to you right now in a very aggressive way. And our freshmen going into sophomore year are already talking to them. Now, they're not in the same position as you, otherwise we wouldn't be talking. But the point is to say that given that, it's important to me that they know who you are as soon as possible because it's very competitive. And you mentioned you might be switching to an ECNL team, which is something we'll talk about. But it's super important that where you stand now, it's clear, whether you work with me or not, that you must get started now. Does that make sense?
Yes, sir.
Okay. The next thing is this. Your video is not good. You cannot send this out to college coaches. It's not professional. Yes. It's poorly formatted, and you can't send it. Now, that's me being critical of the format. Okay, I can fix the format. However, the soccer part, which is the part I cannot fix for you, is pretty good. You're a good soccer player. I think as of right now, Division I is not realistic. I think Division III is realistic. We could talk about D2, but if we're talking about academics, the best academic schools tend to be Division III. Depends on the major. And, as of now, you had mentioned potentially doing business, which allows for flexibility, but D3 programs tend to have better academics. So having said that, if you're sending out a lot of emails with that video, that will not work. Does that make sense?
Yes, sir.
Okay, but you are a good soccer player, so we have to fix that, and things can happen from there. Okay, wonderful. So that brings me to this point. I kind of wrote out, as you were talking, pieces of what I think we should do next. Can I show you that?
Yes, sir.
Okay. I love the yes, sir, no, sir. College coaches will love that too. Okay, so the first thing is your video. All right, so your video here is not acceptable. You cannot send this to anybody. And also you can't have like all this stuff on your YouTube page. This is who you are as a person, okay? So the college coaches has to be very professional. So I'll help you with that. That's the first thing. The second thing is you have a big list of schools, which I love. Credit to your son, he's taking this very seriously. I want to match your list with my list. And then frankly, sending an email to 80 schools is difficult. Would you agree?
Yes, sir.
But with the AI system, it's not that difficult. It's pretty easy. It will take us, 20 minutes a day for 2 days, and you will have emailed everybody. So I want you to use the AI system because it's just faster, not with the current video. And you also mentioned you're not sure what to say. So I want to tell you exactly what to say, including maybe I'm looking to go to an ECNL team. Like there's key terms that are really important.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So ID camps are really important when you're a good soccer player at a young age, which I think you are. So I don't want you to go to just any of them. We have to be very specific and pick the right ones. And then I know you've kind of started. You mentioned you've sent 1 or 2, so I need to review those. And then club soccer is going to be a part of your life forever. Whether you leave, you stay, your coach needs help, your coach doesn't like you. We do this. That's all part of this process. Then once we send that out, so this is kind of, frankly, the first 2 weeks with me. Then we get into this. We've sent the mass email. Who likes me? Now we have to deal with our schedule. Who likes us? If they've talked to our coach. Then this is kind of month 3. Who do I like? And then we spend the rest of the time, to be honest, which coach do you like? Now you have some limitation. You can't talk to certain D1 schools or D2 schools on paper. They break the rules, but on paper that is true. So my concern for you is we are not even at this step. So because of that, there's a lot of things we have to do. So as I mentioned, I'm trying to scare you away. Have I started to scare you away at all?
Not really.
Okay, sorry, Mom. So the next thing is this. When you're working with me, this is what it looks like, and I want your mom to see this too, is the first thing is you've heard of these companies, I assume, correct? And
yes, sir.
Sports Group. So look, for you, you're their perfect candidate. You're a good soccer player. They'll help you fix your one video, and then they'll put you on their platform. Look, you want to go to a top academic school? This is not going to work. That's just unfortunate. I wish it did. I bought NCSA myself, but that just doesn't work. So that's unfortunate, but that's the reality. Now, the other thing is, yes, I need to fix your highlight video, but I need to fix all your videos. I want to fix every video that you ever do, and they don't do that. And that's because they do all sports and they use a robot, and I don't do that. So the next thing is you got to send it from your own email account. You cannot use theirs because that just reduces your response rate by 60% right off the bat, even if you have a great email. Then I need to be able to talk to you all the time. They'll talk to you twice a month. They'll talk to you once a month. They'll talk to you twice a month. I need to talk to you all the time. And part of the contract you're going to see is you pretty much have to meet with me every month for the first month when we get started. Okay. And
yes,
then they're going to put you in a contract. They're going to say, hey, if you work with us, then, and it doesn't work, too bad, you've locked in and you can't get out of it. For me, if it's not working in the first 3 months, I'm going to refund you. Now, this is the price, obviously, you're seeing. Yours will not be this price. It will be discounted, which I'll talk about in a minute. But going back to this, does this make sense for right now, Mr. Andrew?
Yes, sir.
Okay. To your mom, too, does this make sense?
Yes.
Okay, cool. So then this is how it's going to look like for your son. Yeah, this is how it's going to look like for your son. So the first thing is this. Okay, perfect. When we're meeting with students, it's very important to me that you're exposed to other students older than you. So if you wanted to play, at the highest levels of college soccer at your youth club, they would have you play with the older kids and then send you back to the younger kids because you get better and you get more confident, and also you're out of your comfort zone. So I have kids who are your age, not your position, and I also have kids who are juniors and seniors, and some of them wish they started with me earlier. I want you to experience their uncomfortableness so it gets you into gear so you do what we're telling you to do. That makes sense? So that's what these meetings are. They're like a group meeting. Then you're going to get a one-on-one coach plus me. So you won't talk to me on a daily basis or a weekly basis, but I monitor everything, every video, every email, every school. The fall season, we're going to have you probably go to some games in your area. Which games should you go to? Which ID camps you go to? So I monitor everything, but you're going to be with a coach. Now that coach is a former student of mine who's gone on to play college soccer and has since shadowed me for a long time, or is a college coach. Now, just to be transparent, most college coaches are not at my level. They've been recruiting only for their team. They only understand receiving emails. That's not my level. I want kids to understand the suffering that you're about to go through to get recruited. Because there is some suffering, unfortunately, that will be involved. Now, we then have the Discord. This is where you're going to message us all the time. I want to edit your videos. I also want to go through your videos. So like in your highlight video, you have a really good moment where you score. This goal is awesome. I'm going to zoom in big time because it's too far away. But great goal. Fantastic. Okay, then this one, the college coach can't see this one. Now, in this video, when like you have great movement and you score a banger, I'm also going to zoom in on this, and I get to see you celebrate. I want to show you like where your movement should be before and after. So we're going to go through your games and go, how do you become a better soccer player? Does that make sense?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Then you're going to get the Google Drive, which you guys saw in the longer video, how we keep track of everything. We're going to write every date you meet with us, and you're going to get the AI so we can talk about how we can send emails. And then to work with me, we're a lifetime deal. So we're with you from now until you graduate college. Now, we talked about academics come first. If you can maintain a 3.7, you're looking at $60,000 to $80,000. Like that's been our record so far. If it increases a bit, or if the coach likes you, there could be some athletic money. But just so you guys know, the most money is in academics. It is not in athletics. Does that make sense?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And then if in the first 3 months you're not being genuinely recruited, then I will refund you. And by genuine, I'm talking not just some random school. This is, you'll see in the contract, schools you actually would consider. So academically minded schools. You have a great grade, so we're going to give you the top academic list. And that's really important. Does that make sense?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So let me ask you guys a question. This is for you first, Andrew. Why do you think you're a good candidate to work with me? I'm only going to get to work with one position per grad year. Why do you think why do you think you'd be a good candidate to work with?
I feel like, well, grade wise, I feel like that can like benefit me because I'll be able to talk to like a bigger margin of schools because like my grades won't be like a not a defect, like a problem, like my recruiting wise, if my grades are good enough. And also I feel like as a player, I'm good enough to play at somewhat of a high level. So I feel like coaches will like my game and stuff like that.
Very helpful. And from your mom's perspective, why do you think your son is a good candidate to be with us?
I guess because he's very driven and he's very self-motivated. It's all, like I said, it's 100% coming from him, not anyone else.
Perfect. I can feel that through the phone, which I love, because we don't really work with students unless they're driving it. Because as much as your parents are supportive, we got to talk to you. You got to send the emails. You got to write them. It has to go through you. Now, we want your parents on our team. We're all on the same team against the college soccer gods, but it's great that you're driving it. So that leaves me here. Because I only work with one student per grad year per position, it means that I must know an answer from you guys within 24 hours if you want to work with me. Now, you're not allowed to work with me today, right? Let's say you're ready to go today. I wouldn't let you work with me. I need you to think about it. So my question for you, Andrew, first, let's say you had to work with me today. Say you didn't have a choice. What questions might you have for me?
What's like the number one thing I need to do to like really like kickstart my recruitment? Like what's like the first thing I can do that'll help me the most?
You got to fix your video. Your video is not good. That's super important. Your first impression with every coach is going to be that video. And they cannot see you. They can't tell how great you are. I watched the whole thing 2 times. They will never do that. They will, once they get to the intro page, which doesn't look like a top academic student fixed, they will stop watching.
Yes, sir.
Okay, good question. From your mom's perspective, pretend you had to work with me today. What questions might you have for me?
I guess I would want to know, I guess, what kind of a school, because I know, of course, he would love to play D1, but what the top academic schools would be that he would be a potential candidate for.
Good question. So I'm going to answer it directly, and I'm also going to ask a follow-up question. Let's pretend you had to take care of a dog, and you went to a foster care, and you had to pick a dog. Would you spend 10 minutes finding out if they're the right dog to live in your house, or would you want to get to know the dog for a little while longer?
Get to know the dog for a little while longer.
So similar, I need to get to know your son for a little bit longer before I'm like, this is the school. However, having said that, we have a list of top academic schools that come to mind. I'm going to share my screen so you can see some of them. Now, I don't want to say these are the schools because I need to get to know him better. But these are some D3 schools that right off the bat, I'm thinking about for him. And to be completely honest with you, these are the top academic schools. Like, this is not up for debate. This is in the last 15 years, these are the top academic schools, and they're the best soccer teams also. So these are some of the schools. I have a tier 1 and a tier 2 list. I also have a separate list specifically for business. These are just the top academic, regardless of major. We also have a business one specifically. So he's going to get both. And I also want to look at his list. And then the answer to your question, Mom, I'd love for you to ask me the same question in like a month and a half, because we will have sent the email and we'll have a much better idea of the coaches, because he will start talking to them. And as much as we care about top academics, as much as like that's so important to us, if he doesn't like his coach, he will be miserable. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay. So here's the last thing. I'm going to email everything we spoke about over to you guys, you know, the whole contract and everything else. I mentioned that I need an answer in 24 hours. If in 24 hours you say, hey, Zev, we have another question. You know, we were wondering about XYZ. Of course, please ask me the question. I'm not trying to rush you. It just happens that I don't work with many students, and so I have to prioritize the students that want to work with me. Yes, I do like good soccer players, but, you know, I'm going to work with the students that want to work with me the most. I don't care, like, if they don't want to play at the highest level. Now, I want your son to play Division I. I'm telling you right now, that's not realistic from what I've seen. But my goal, and I was playing JV soccer as a junior in high school, and I was told a dozen times over I would never play college, let alone pro. So your son's case is exactly what I like to work with. But I also want to be honest and say, today, we're not heading in that direction. Does that make sense?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So I'm going to email everything over. And in the contract, it will say to you, if your grades drop below a 3.5, you're fired and we will not work with you. Okay. That's number one. Number two, it will also say that if you don't get me video, like more video, you're fired. And if you don't show up to the meetings, you're also fired. And then likewise, it says, if I don't get you recruited genuinely by top academic school in 3 months, then I'm fired. Make sense? Okay.
Yes, sir.
So let's pretend I was able to get you a scholarship of $60,000, which I don't, that is realistic. So take away my fee for a second, right? Because if I get you 60, then my fee is pretty cheap. Having said that, and it's not a guarantee, but just hypothetical. Andrew, are you leaning to yes, maybe, or no to work with me? Just so I have an idea.
I'm leaning towards yes.
Okay. And then from your mom's perspective, just so I have an idea, where are you leaning?
Well, I'll obviously need to talk to my husband and Andrew a little bit because it's more of their decision.
Mm-hmm. Okay, perfect. Does it make sense? The reason I asked the yes, maybe, or no is just to finalize whether anything I said was confusing.
No, nothing was confusing.
Okay, and there's it makes sense to you kind of how we would go about helping him?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. That's all I need. So having said that, I just sent the email over. You guys will get that. And then I just asked for an answer in 24 hours. You will get another message from me probably if I don't hear from you because now I care about your son. But like I said, you just let me know how you feel and we'll go from there. Sound good?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Thank you.
Sounds good.
Perfect. Wonderful, guys. Have a wonderful day. I'll talk to you soon.
You too.
Thank
See
you.
ya.
Bye. All right. Whew. Hold on, guys. I can answer your questions because we have a little break, but just give me 1 second here. One second, guys. Why do you think you are a good candidate to work with us? And one more, athlete and parent. Okay. Okay. All right. I'm going to Chicago's camp, and I've had a call with the coach before. How do I introduce myself? Just go up and say, hi, it's David. We had a call before. I'm looking forward to the camp. That's perfect. Okay. All right, I did that. I really need to eat, everybody. And I know you guys have questions, which I appreciate. Okay, I'm live everywhere. I love when I'm live. I love going live. So much fun for me. Let's see here. Chat. Is the Elite Academy League good? It is a good league. Hi, your WhatsApp. I'm not giving you my WhatsApp. Sorry, dude. You can click the link in the bio to call me. Is Elite Academy good? Yes, it is. Okay, perfect. And then over here, I'm in 8th grade. What ID camp should I go to? I need to know more about you, Mr. Period. Send me, call me. JFC and now changed to Armada FC, which is an academy now. Could this possibly be for people outside USA? Zayed, we have a section for people outside the USA. Click the link in the bio. What should I do if my high school will not let me play MLS Next? If I want to play high school, then you can go play high school, but then you will have a less chance of playing college. Is EDP good? EDP is low level. Aim for D3. I'm going to I have a D1 reference. When is it too late in the process to use it for good academic D3s, rising senior? No, use it now. You are late, but you can use it now. Would it be bad to play D1 soccer if it is really unpopular? No one who goes there knows it exists. Hell no. I went to a no-name D1 school and I loved it. So it'd be awesome, Ella. I would totally go. Don't listen to anybody around you. D1 soccer is incredible. Totally do it. Or any suggestions? Okay. Hey, I'm going to the big college ID camp in New Jersey with multiple D1s you like. Use later Notre Dame. So you're wondering what to do before or what to email or any suggestions? Send them your video before, Tony. Send them your video before. Show us great goal versus not such a great goal. Ty Blanchett. I think it depends per position, Ty. Like when a college coach look at you, like if you score a banger from outside the box, that's a great goal. If you score a tap in, it's not as good of a goal. But goals really just tell us, okay, this person's a good player. We need to see more. We need to see every touch videos. That's what's super important. Bro taught me his vids. Greetings from Germany. What is the maximum age to join? 8th grade. At what age can scouts start watching you? Lionel, they start taking notes of your emails in 8th grade. How do I call you? Link in the bio. My son has worked with you and loves the process. Davin, I know who your son is. Thank you so much for saying that. That's so nice. Guys, Davin is enjoying working with us. But we ask a lot, so be careful. How can I adapt to a team where I don't know the language? Learn the language as quick as you can. I've practiced later. Should I ask the coach how I did after? You should ask what to work on. That's not bad. What should I do now if I'm a freshman and want to play D1, D2? Give me a call, Thomas. There's a lot of stuff to do. Is it too late to get an offer from an Ivy League D1 at this point in July? I play for the best club. Short answer is yes, but it's not done. They're not done, so it is possible. But if you've had no communication, that's tough. What should we be doing now as a 13-year-old? Make a highlight video. Work on club soccer. What do you like from a striker, right mid? Dribbling and goals and assists. What do you look for in a center attack mid? Through balls. Does it matter if you make varsity your freshman year? No, I was a JV soccer player until I was a junior, and I played D1. And I'm thinking about joining Barcelona Academy. I'm going to Division 1, but should I take it slow? I play for Surrey United. I'm confused. Are you already committed to Division 1? Okay, there we go. I want to call you, but I do not have enough clips to make a highlight video. Put whatever you have, even if it's not a highlight video, even if it's 5 clips, then put it together and put it on YouTube and then submit it. And that will be enough for me to at least get the conversation started. Did you see Lamin's goal for Spain in the Euros? Yes, I did. He's amazing. Most ID camps are 3 days and far away. How do I choose if it's a good camp? Davin, we will message your son. We'll message them on the Discord. But the answer is we're on the Discord with you, so we can tell you about it there. Short answer is it's the genuine interest, as you know, and also we will recommend it for you, Mr. Davin. And make sure, if you haven't already, ask the question in the Discord so we can answer it quickly. Can you get recruited for a good D3 just by going to ID camp? No, you usually also need video, and they have to see you at least once in person at a showcase. What if I have a little film and clips I do have aren't great? Then you're not going to play college soccer probably, which is a problem. But whatever you have for me, I just need to see your level. If I want to go pro, does college help at all? Yes, I went pro because of college. I would say 60% of the players in MLS all played college soccer. Is NAIA a good level? It's a very good level, yes. Okay, guys, I have to eat. My son is a senior, has 2 D1 schools telling him they're considering him for 25. He has no soccer coming up until December except high school. How do you convince coaches at this point? Corey Crozier, you are in a lot of trouble, to be completely honest. The only way to convince them is to get offers from other schools. So he needs to email D3 and D2 schools, tell them that he's been given offers, then tell the D1 schools that I have offers, but he's not as interested in those schools, and see if they make a move. But you're in a tough pickle. Also, you need every touch videos, and you need to send them out, and you need to have your club coach call the D1 schools that are saying they're interested in him. I'm a junior this year, but I'm not known by no college, nor am I on a team. It's too late to get recruited. It's not too late, but aim for D3, Mikey. Please. It will help you. Okay, I'm getting food. You guys can hang out while I eat, but I have to eat. Okay. Sorry, guys. I'm really hungry. Shashuka. What do you look for when scouting fullbacks? It varies. It varies, but mainly crosses and 1v1 defending. Are EA and GA good for being scouted? GA is better. Well, I'm confused. Are you a boy or a girl? Because that's the same thing. The answer is yes. Aim for D2. D1 is possible. It's difficult for boys, though. It's pretty difficult for boys. It's possible, but it's difficult. Do D3 colleges have big ID camps like the major D1 schools? Yes, they do. You can go to D3 ID camps. Albert, we just help with college. Is it possible to play college if you're only flight 1? It's very difficult. Very difficult. You'll have to aim for D3. Mid-tier, low-tier D3. BCSPL for Canada is for D3, maybe D2. Lamborghini Ghost. What's up, Lamborghini Ghost? My school doesn't have a college team. I think you're confused. Well, if you're in college, transfer. How many times should I send updates to schools that are interested in me? Once a month. Depending on your age, though. If you're older, then it could be more often. Are you going to join the Discord? I'm going to turn on the Discord. Sorry, I forgot about that. Okay. While I'm live, I open the Discord up so you guys can submit your highlight videos if you want. I've got a couple here that I can look at. These are highlights from the season. I'm in Sydney, Australia. Okay. Do you help people in Anaheim, California? Of course. I live in Los Angeles. I grew up playing at the Galaxy Stadium in Anaheim. ECHL going in freshman year. Good for recruitment. Very good. Yes. Is ECHL a good league to play in? D2, D3? Yes. Is VMSL in Canada good for D2 and D1 playing 16-year-old? I actually don't know the answer to that. I've not heard of that league. I don't help very many Canadians. Best practice to be extremely fast. We're a big believer that it's all about soccer IQ and decision making. So, Davin, that's more important to us as we'll go through the game video with your athlete than it is about being fast. If you only want to get fast, but you can't use it in soccer, then it's not very helpful. Thoughts on Lamine Yamal? He's amazing. Can NAL player play D1, D2 college soccer? They're definitely the level. Yes. Are they getting the exposure? It's tough. It's really tough. It is possible, but it's really tough. How long should every touch video be? You don't have to worry about that because it should be the whole game. So however long it is, given how many touches, you could, if it's really long, you can make it 2 parts, but you can use the whole thing. My son is 2 months old. I want him to go pro. If he has potential, can I hit you up for coaching? These nuts. In my YouTube page, I have a video called What I Would Do to Have My Kid Play College Soccer If He's Younger than 4 years old. Go watch that video. Can I receive more responses and personal emails back? How can I receive? Jacob, call me. Either you're not a good soccer player, which I doubt it, or you're doing something wrong. I need to help. Did you help Riley Sinclair from Canada? I did. Riley Sinclair and I know each other really well. The call I just had, who I in D3, was because those are better academic schools. Mary Rodriguez, yes. That's one reason. Also, I was watching that player, and at this time, I don't think he's ready for D1. So if he wants to play, he should do that. Is it possible to play high D1 if I play ECRL? I'm about to be a freshman. Probably not. ECRL to D1 is very, very rare. Do you think NCSA is good? No, I do not like NCSA. Can you look at my highlights? Yeah. Can you put them on the Discord? I don't say anything on the Discord. You have to click the link in the bio and put it on the Discord. Then I can watch your highlights. Any tips for goalkeepers? Work on your side volleys. Side volleys is amazing for highlight videos. Any way to become Pro 16 without college soccer? Albert, I don't know. I only help with college. What is the best way that I can be a better center mid? Look over your shoulder, but don't look quickly. Look slowly so you can take in the information. Cohen, I just watched you play Nash against SSM. That's cool. Do you know about the youth league in Germany system? Liam, I'm afraid I do not. Alex Boda, you can't. I'm not able to look you up on Instagram. You have to send your link to the Discord. What are some underrated D3 academic schools? Ooh, good question. Carleton, St. Olaf, Haverford, Hamilton, Cal Lutheran, Redmond, Pacific Lutheran. All right, then I need to get into college soccer. Albert, book a call. There was too many. That's too broad of a question. Is Find Me Showcase a good program? I'm curious what that is. Find Me Showcases. Let's see. Find Me Showcases. Okay, I'm watching it right now. I'm looking at it right now. Find Me Showcases. Next edition comes soon. I mean, Montreal. Oh, it's for Canadians. Interesting. It doesn't look like it's been updated in many years. The last event was in 2022. So the short answer is no. Can you get in college soccer if you're from Europe? Yes, you can. Oh, you can. Yeah. Click the link in the bio. There's a section for you for internationals. Could you list those top academic again? Yeah, hold on. Sorry. Okay. Underrated D3 schools. Carleton, St. Olaf, Hamilton, Haverford, Cal Lutheran, Pacific Lutheran, Puget Sound, St. Olaf, Arcadia. That's a good start. Haverford led me on. I'm sorry, Mr. Sullivan. That's part of the process. What should I do to talk to my high school coach to get him to know me more and make me stand out? Send him a highlight video. If I don't have a good GPA, should I leave it out on the YouTube video or leave it in? Leave it out. you have any tips for right backs, crosses, 1v1 defending? Is SFU a good D2 Canada team? I'm sorry, I don't know about Canada. How do I get information about schools? Because I'm not informed well enough. Go to Google. You can Google anything you want, or go to my YouTube page, and there should be a bunch of stuff. Goalkeepers and right back. Goalkeepers, side volleys, right backs, crosses, 1v1 defending. When a coach asks when you are looking to decide, how should you answer? He told D2s fall, and this seemed to delay their offer. Yeah, he should not have said that, Corey. Usually what you say when they ask about an offer is you say, well, Corey, I actually don't know the answer to that because that varies per person. Corey, call me because clearly you're about to get an offer or you're soon to get an offer and you have to navigate it very carefully. Think about the analogy. You're almost to the finish line, but there's one more mountain to go over. And if you do the wrong thing, you could fall off the mountain. And the answer is I would not have said that. I probably would have said something like, I'm looking at options, and I'm so excited that you think I'm a potential fit. I look forward to giving you an update very soon because now they technically, even though they've said they've delayed their offers, they haven't even made an offer. You just are hoping it's going to come in the fall. My son has a college showcase coming up this weekend. What should he expect? He's a winger fullback. Does he have a college ID camp, Rachel, or a college showcase? Those are two different things. Is nursing related to major to play college soccer? Yes, Mamito. It is very good. Okay, I have a call I have to do. You guys can keep listening if you would like. If you want to talk to me, give me a call. I'm going to jump on this call right now with Mr. Andres.
Recording in progress.
Hello?
Hello, everyone. Can you guys hear me okay?
Yes. Well, I don't know if Andres is connected.
Hello.
Hello, Mr.
Oh,
Andres.
hola.
Hello.
How are you? Okay.
Hello.
Perfect. Good to see you all. Thanks so much for your time. Everyone doing well?
Crazy. I am in Houston.
Mm-hmm.
So the storm was bad. And I'm now not in my home. I need to move to another house because I don't have power, no internet. So in fact, I tried my best to watch the whole video, but I couldn't see everything because I didn't have time. I just arrived here and then I could sit down and connect.
No problem. No problem.
Andres is really the one who has been doing everything.
Okay. Amazing. Thank you for telling me that. I'll go through a couple pieces of the video just so that way we see it all. Just to begin with, who found me first?
Andres Felipe. Andres, you can talk.
Yeah. So, yeah.
Where did you find me, Mr. Andres?
I've seen you a couple times, like on Instagram.
Mm-hmm.
I've seen like videos of you doing like scouting videos and stuff, and I knew who you were, and I was already following you, but then it was like 2 days ago where I like one of your videos interested me, and I just clicked on the profile, and then I saw that you worked with Ethan from like IMG the 17s.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's what really stood out because I knew that you were you helped with college, but the fact that that was a crazy thing when he committed, because especially it was like inspirational to a lot of the kids at IMG. So just to see that you worked with a kid that's kind of in the same position with me and that he was able to reach his dream school, I just thought that.
Awesome. I'm glad you got to hear that. And if you have a chance to talk to him, you can talk to him about everything we did. We were very aggressive, very early, which is why he was able to commit so early. But that is really important when you want to go to a Duke or you put down Notre Dame. It's really important. So having said that, I have one quick favor for you, Mr. Andres. I want to show your mom and you guys your video. I already saw your video, but I'm unable to share it. Can you give me access to share it? I just requested it. If you go to your Gmail, I think you'll see it like a.
What do you mean to share it?
Like you gave me a Google Drive, so only you can access it. So I need to be able to access it so I can show both of you and share my screen. I already did get to watch it, but I'm not able to share my screen with it unless you permit me access.
Okay. Hold on.
Oh yeah, that's
Manage.
Thank you so much. While I'm waiting for you to do that, Mr. Andres, I'm going to ask you a question at the same time. Can you tell me at this point what you've done? Oh, actually, let me back up. How many phone calls have you had with college coaches so far?
None.
Have anybody invited you on a visit or anything like that?
No.
As a talk, I mean, it's so obviously he will answer as well, but my understanding is he's just finished 9th grade, and what we have heard is like he's early in the process and the coaches cannot reach him yet or something like that. So we really have not been actively trying to contact anybody. I was thinking that he needs to make the list of the school that he wants by the end of sophomore year, but probably based on what you said, this needs to be much earlier. So really, based on what he is doing now, I mean, my son, I'm wondering exactly when the process needs to be started. Because so far, he's just focused on improving the game and get the best grades possible, but not actively talking to anybody yet.
Okay. So I'm going to tell you my opinion, and then I want you to go talk to Ethan. To give you an idea, Ethan started working with me at your age, and I was a little bit younger than you, to be honest, and Division I schools were calling him illegally, and Division III schools were making him offers. And part of that is because he was a good player, but the main reason was he was reaching out to them. So the answer is, if you want to play at Notre Dame, which was the school you put on your list, you are behind. Notre Dame are already recruiting your class. Does that make sense?
Are they recruiting for 2027?
Yes.
Oh my God. So what do you mean? He cannot even apply to Notre Dame now?
No, it's not too late. It's not too late, but Notre Dame have already contacted some of their 27s, whether it's illegally or legally. My point is just to tell you that with for example, with Ethan, the reason he was recruited to Duke so early is they knew who he was in 7th grade. So
okay.
I'm not saying your son's too late, but I am saying that if you want to play Division I soccer and you want to go to Notre Dame, waiting until the end of his sophomore year, I do not, whether you work with me or not, I do not think that's a good idea.
Yeah, no. We got it now, but I hope we are doing this on time. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, I understand, and that's the reason when he mentioned that, I said, okay, we need to start working with this. Okay.
Yeah. So what I would say, I have my own timeline. There's the, on paper timeline. I'm telling you that I think he's a little bit behind with not having phone calls and interest. Is he so far behind he's not going to catch up? No, that's my job. But I want to be honest and say, look, if he wants to go to a regular D3 program that's not a top academic, he's fine. He's early. But if you want to go to the best schools in the country, then it's a different story.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, he wants for sure. I mean, even I was telling him maybe D3 top academic school, but that is for him not the best option. He wants D1 a good soccer. And that's I mean, D1 good soccer but good academics. That's the thing. And as a parents are being concerned, the thing that we want the most is a good academic school. Okay. So for that reason, I was thinking maybe D3 top academic school will be okay, but he wants D1.
Okay, very helpful. Obviously, I know you didn't get to see the whole video, but it should be very clear, and I want to confirm with both of you. Academics for me always come first. Would you agree?
Yeah, I saw that in your video.
Okay, amazing. So basically, that brings me to this. Mr. Andres, why do you want to play college soccer?
Wait, can you say it again? It cut out real quick.
No problem. Why do you want to play college soccer? Why do you want to put your mom through all this work, all this travel, all this worrying about you in a different place? Why do you want to play college soccer?
I'm really passionate about the sport, so I really want to play at the next level. But I also understand that I also want to set myself up for a good career and whatever else it is. So I find it like I can follow my passion, but I can still secure myself basically.
I like that answer. And from your mom's perspective, I agree. Academics come first. You can use soccer to go to great schools. Like Ethan would have not gone. You wouldn't be going to Duke unless it was for soccer. So likewise, your son is in that potential category. So the question would be for you, Mom, Miss Isabel, why do you want to see your son play college soccer?
I mean, first is his dream. And I know his potential. I know he's able to do it. He's really, I mean, he's really good in academics. And he has demonstrated, especially to me, to be honest, because my husband has been always super supportive. I was a little bit more careful about the support for the sport because I didn't think he was so serious about it. But he has demonstrated passion, of course, but discipline, and has been resilient and consistent totally with his ideas. So I think if he's able to play at that level as a college student, he will be even a better human being. He will have even more strength for everything.
Amazing. Okay, that's really helpful. And that's what I would like for them as well, to have the academics and the soccer combined, but academics coming first. And as it happens, because you live in America, you can look, Ethan is a good soccer player. Why would they prioritize Ethan instead of a super genius engineer? It's because we live in America. America loves sports. So playing a sport can actually help you get into college, which is amazing. So having said that, here is the next thing. Right now, I want to kind of show you what I think you need to do if you want to play college soccer. Is that okay?
Sure.
Okay. So this is what we did with Ethan. And we have another student named Casey Pasha, who's older than Ethan, who started a little bit later. He just got an offer from LMU today, actually. And playing at IMG opportunities. The problem is IMG is amazing. It's amazing. But I am very specific, and I only care about your son. I don't care about IMG. I don't care about the team. I only care about Mr. Andres. So the first thing is your video. Okay, this video is not okay. You cannot send this to college coaches. And the fact that IMG haven't told you that is insane. Okay, you need a self-interview. You're a big boy. It should have your height in here. This is not good. Also, there's no circle on any of the video. Then you cannot send a video without that. So your video is not good enough to go to coaches. So luckily you haven't sent anything, so that's fine. The next thing is, and this is what I want to show your mom, when we email schools, it's important that we email them consistently often, especially when your son is good. So the analogy I would give, you said to me, maybe we shouldn't start the process. You're not wrong. For other kids who are who are your son's age, they should not start because they're not exceptional for their age. Your son's a good player. Division I soccer is realistic. Having said that, every single kid with perfect grades and who's a good soccer player wants to go to the same Notre Dame. Okay, you're competing with hundreds of very good soccer players. So what's going to be the difference? So one of the ways we do this, and we did this with Ethan, this website, which I built, has every school in it. So this is every single Division I program, whether it's top academic or not, it's just every one. Now I'm going to give your son a list of schools that I want him to email first. But let's pretend I wanted to email every Division I school. What I could do is I could go like this. I could click, sorry, I'm going to go like this, select all. Then I could click write emails. Then what I can do is I can go, dear coach, hashtag coach's name. It will automatically put the last name for you. Then you're going to put hashtag genuine, and it will automatically insert something genuine that you put on this page. So we can add something genuine for each coach, and it will automatically add it to the email, which is obviously helps us do things faster. So then we go, dear coach, last name. Then we do hashtag genuine. So now we know it's got genuine. And then I'm going to give him an email to write. And it's going to be very specific. I'm very specific on how we write it. And then I'm going to have him send it. And just to be honest, if your son really wants to go to Notre Dame, you can't just email Notre Dame. Notre Dame are going to be like, who else are you being recruited by? He needs an offer from Air Force, from American, from Bellarmine. That's how Ethan went to Duke. By the time Ethan was your son's age, he was already getting calls illegally from smaller D1 programs. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So we are going to email all the D1s. Having said that, I'm also going to give your son a list of top academic D3 schools that this is not his list, but it's an example. I'm going to make a custom one for him. But I want him to email these D3 schools. There's a couple of reasons for that. One, it's illegal for coaches to contact you, so they're not supposed to. So I can't promise you that's going to happen because that's illegal. But also, these schools can talk to you. And these schools, as you may say, I know, Andres, you don't want to play D3, but University of Chicago is a better education than 90% of Division I schools, and they're really good at
Yeah.
soccer. They're
No,
really, really good.
totally agree. It's like our daughter is in WashU as well.
There
It's
you
a
go.
Division
Oh,
III.
perfect. And they're
Yeah.
amazing academics. So even though I understand you don't want to play D3, if you really want to go to Notre Dame, they expect that you're talking to Chicago. Does that make sense?
How they know that? I mean, how that?
Good question. There's two ways they can know. First of all, the world is very small. I played pro soccer. They all know they know your coach is IMG. They know me. It's a small world. Number two, we're going to tell them. We're going to say to Notre Dame, I'm talking to Chicago, just so you know, have a good day, because we'll say it nicer than that. But the reason that's important is they're like, wow, Chicago's talking to him. They're the best D3 program. He's only going into sophomore year. He's only going to freshman year. That's why it's a big deal. Does that make sense?
Okay. But to get that phone call, so basically, if he starts sending the messages to say that he starts sending messages to the D3, like because our daughter is a tennis player, so we were looking for the D3. So that's the reason we know WashU, Johns Hopkins, U Chicago, Tufts. We have those like in the list when she was trying to do the same. So he starts sending messages along with the video. I mean, how they can get the attention. And I mean, how the coaches finally know, yes, we want this guy. I mean, they call him to play. I mean, how they can see, you know what I mean? I don't know how they eventually will be interested. I mean, or the page, or how you qualify a soccer player.
Good question. So two things. First of all, this is their job. 90% of recruiting is done through email. They're waiting for your son to email them. They want him. I'm watching your son's video. Your son's a Division I soccer player potential. They want him to email them, but they don't know who he is. We have 8th graders who are playing for the national team. They know who your son is before your son because we've emailed them. So step one is got to email. But to your point, what do you put in the email? How do you make it stand out? That's my job. I'm going to customize the subject line. I'm going to customize the email. I'm going to make sure that it's going to work. The other thing is the email has to be good enough that they watch the video. And his video right now is not, I would not allow him to send that video out to coaches. It needs a self-interview. It needs a different formatted page. It needs circles.
Oh, no, of course.
So from that perspective, to answer your question, the way we're going to get him interest is through emails. And the way I'm going to customize those is specific to him. Having said that, you bring up a good point. I cannot directly contact a school for your son. It would be illegal because of NCAA rules. IMG, they have leverage, so they can do that. And here's the beauty. Ethan was a very good soccer player. I didn't make him a good soccer player. IMG is a great club or academy. That helped. All of those things help. So the answer is you need all of it. You want to go to Notre Dame, you need IMG. You need perfect emails. You need, the best video. It takes a village to make this happen. Does that make sense?
Yeah, no, we know that, and I like your honesty because that's true. It's to get a good guidance, but he needs. I mean, it's a hard process.
Yes.
Now, so for those students that are looking for these top schools, they need to be top in academics. I mean, because the coach can say, "I like this student," but if the student doesn't have the grades, I guess the student cannot make it.
Yes and no.
I imagine that, no?
Yes and no. So the short answer is yes. And the way it works is this. Coaches put you in 3 categories. They put you in, you're going to get into the school without our help. And so you're easier to recruit because we don't have to get you in. And that's the top.
And that is based on, obviously, if they like it, but if they like the student, but as well, based on what academic, I mean, what the GPA is.
Their GPA, their SAT, their ACT, extracurriculars. IMG, for example, has a great reputation for helping kids do well in school and getting good grades and taking good classes. So it's a combination of that, yes.
Okay, so that would be the student that they said that you will get the position. And then the others will be the ones with not better grades or something like that?
Yeah, well, it comes down to soccer and grades. So tier 1 is, hey, you have the grades to get into our school and we want you. You're going to get in without our help. Number 2 is, look, we really want you and you have good grades, but we're going to get you into the school. Like there's a lot of kids with a 4.0. There's tons of them. But what's the difference? Well, in this case, the soccer coach likes him. So they're going to get him in the school. Like with Ethan, look, on only his grades, Ethan would have he had good grades, but you're not going to Duke with a 4.0. Every kid has a 4.0 applying to Duke. So it's got to be something different. So the sport can play a big role in that. And then number 3 is they say to you, look, if you get in on your own, you can be on the team, which is very difficult, right? So let's say Notre Dame says, look, if you get admitted by yourself without our help, then we'll take you on the team. And some players are in that situation where they're really good soccer players. they have great grades, and the coach will go, we kind of want you, but not that badly. We're not going to use one of our strikes on you. So if you get in, let us know. And if you get in, we'll have you on the team. Does that make sense?
Oh, got it. I mean, like they got to the school not because of the sport, but once they're in the school, they upset like a walk on.
It is similar to walk on, but at Division I now, you cannot just walk on. Like you can't be like, I got in. Hey, coach, do you know who I am? They have to know you, 2 years before.
Before.
But
got
the
it,
answer
got it.
is
Yeah.
yes. It's similar to like a walk on. You don't want to
Okay.
be in that position though, if we can help it, because it's very uncomfortable. Because you want to be. To give you an idea, the best academic schools are done recruiting in August of his junior year. All the D3s are done in August. All the D1s are done all the Ivy League schools are done in August. So Notre Dame.
August of the junior year.
Yeah. So in like a year, in about
like basically raising seniors.
Almost seniors. But Notre Dame's different. Notre Dame is already done with their 25s. They're going to be looking at their 26s and 27s now, and they'll be done with their 26s. Not that long.
We didn't know that. In fact, I didn't know that Andres was so interested in Notre Dame, to be honest, until like a week ago when he told me. But he's basically he's looking for for top schools, and Notre Dame is definitely one of the ones that will be great. And
I played college soccer in Indiana, so I played against Notre Dame during my career, and I would talk to the players and be like, "When did you commit?" And they were being talked to by Notre Dame as a freshman, now unofficially, but Notre Dame is a professional soccer team. They're not just a college. They're very, very good, and they're incredible academics. So that's the hard part you guys are facing. The good news is your son's a good player. The bad news is he wants to go to the best schools in the country. Like that's different to your daughter in the sense that she wanted to go to a top academic D3. So does that make sense?
Yes. No. We know it's a difficult process. We need the best guidance, the best. To know what to do, basically.
Yeah. Okay. So that's a great point. So let's talk about that really quickly. So go ahead. Andres, did you have a thought?
I was just gonna say I really like Notre Dame, but I'm also it's not like concrete 100%. Like I need to go there, but I think that's my favorite. I just wanted to say.
Yeah, thank you for saying.
So it's not like the end all be all.
Got it. You put that on your list.
That was
just using it as an
that was the other thing I was thinking, Seth. So again, we went through my daughter's process for college, not as an athlete, but in general, the students they need to have a list of potential schools, and they have like the dream school. And normally for kids like them, it's like a really difficult school to get in with really selective process to get in, like a less than 10% acceptance rate or something like that. So those are the high reach schools, the school high to reach. Then some that are, the list, some that are reachable, like, eventually it's easy for you to go. And some schools that it's almost clear that the student will get in. Is this the same thing that we need to do for the student athlete? Or when he needs to have that list done, because he says Notre Dame is one of my top schools, but I know, or Andres, correct me if I'm wrong, I know he is as well interested in Duke or UCLA. There are others that he's in. The other is Chapel Hill.
So these schools are,
UNC.
As you know, these schools are very competitive. Your son is competing with MLS Next players who are turning down pro contracts to go to those colleges. So he's competing with pro soccer players. Having said that, they are going to do a pre-read. The pre-read usually happens in July going into his junior year. That is how we will know if he's going to get into the school, typically speaking, or if he's on the right track. But we have to be getting pre-reads going into his junior year for the most part, where they say, send us your transcripts. We need to know about you. Also, because he's at IMG, which is great, like Ethan didn't do a pre-read. They knew because of IMG, he was a good player, had good grades, and that he would get in. So similar, Andres is on a similar path. So IMG is very helpful. As you know, though, the big thing for us is as much as we're talking about what school and everything, and we care about academics, the biggest thing is the steps we have to take is we have to pick ID camps for him. We have to talk about, his club soccer coach. Is he helping us in this process? Then we have to narrow down the list based off when we know who likes us. But also, look, I know he cares about academics, and so I care about it the most. But if he doesn't like his coach, whether it's at Notre Dame or UNC or wherever he goes, he will be miserable. Mm-hmm. So a lot of what we're really doing, and this was true with our other students, right now you're thinking, Andres, who likes me and how do I go to this school? I don't want you to have that headspace in like a couple months. I want your headspace to go, is that coach going to like me? And am I going to play a lot of minutes for them? And that's what I want your headspace to turn into. Because if you want to play at the next level one day, or if you just want to get a job you love, you have to love your coach. And my brother played college soccer, and his coach just got fired a couple weeks ago for being a drunk on campus, which he was doing for 20 years. And my brother was physically abusing himself because of the torment he was going through with the college coach. And he wouldn't tell us because, you're young and a teenager. So this to me is really important for us. So that is to say, when I'm working with students, it varies per student, my costs as well as how we compare to other ones. So at IMG, you guys usually use Scouting Zone to some degree, whether it's through emails and whatnot. It's important to know you cannot send any emails through any other companies. You get 60% less exposure. So you have to send it through your own account. It's very important. So having said that, the AI system, so your mom didn't get to see that. So I just showed it to you guys, but I want you guys to recognize you have to do it through your own Gmail. And that's what the AI system is. Does that make sense?
Uh-huh.
Okay. So I want to edit all of his videos. So I want to fix his video. I know you have a lot more video because I have access to all of IMG's videos. So I need to fix all those videos. So I will edit them. You'll send me the full game and I'm going to cut it up. With Ethan, let me just show you an example. So this is what Ethan's Google Drive looked like, and you're going to get the same one. These are all the videos we had sent out prior to him getting his offer. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We had 5 more videos in his folder. So we had like 15 videos plus Instagram plus Twitter that we were sending out basically once a month from 9th grade until going into sophomore year or going into junior year. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. So
you send
yeah.
when you say we send it, go ahead, Andres.
Well, I have one question. Like Ethan, I know he has a recruiting account, and I have one. I just haven't really used it, on Instagram. Does that really help?
Yes.
If you have an Instagram recruiting account.
Yes. Ask Ethan. He'll tell you they
Okay.
DM'd him.
I have one. I just haven't uploaded.
Okay. So we have to get stuff uploaded on there for sure. And we will help you do that. We'll edit those videos.
Okay.
And sorry, Mom, go ahead, Isabel. Did you have a question?
Yes, no, I'm
Yes, sir.
asking this when you say we had all these videos, is how you say you send emails to the school consistently.
Exactly. So every time you email a school, you almost have to send them a new video. So this is an every touch video that we sent to the coach to say, hey, coach, just wanted to give you an update. I played yesterday, and here's the game. We played against this team. We beat them. Here's the game. I played center back, and I had 5 through balls. Here's the game. So you have to constantly send them video because they can't see you in person.
Even if they don't answer?
Even if they don't answer. Correct. They are taking notes. Think about he's applying
and for those emails, you help. I
do all of the emails. Yes. I help him.
got it.
Every email he writes, every email he receives, we do everyone. So with Ethan, you'll get the same thing. But every week we were meeting, June 23rd, June 16th, June 11th, and we were talking about all the emails he received and how he had to send them out again. Does that make sense?
And it's expected maybe to receive answers initially for the Division 3 schools.
I expect him to be on phone calls in the next 2 months.
Oh, wow.
So let me show you that real quick. So this is my expectation for him. Now, this only works if he puts in the work, but I talked about this, process and why we do what we do. When we're working with him in particular, this is the process that we have to take in order to, frankly, reach the goals that I want to reach for him. So the first thing is this. On Sundays, we do a meeting. Okay, you don't have to come to every Sunday for the rest of your life, but we do these meetings because Ethan is on the meetings. We have other players from IMG. We have players playing at Notre Dame, at Brown, at Harvard, we had a player commit to Portland. I want you to talk to those players and say, what's it like? Do you like the coach? I live right by UCLA. I'm on campus, basically. I go to their trainings every day. What's the coach like? How do you like it? So I want you to talk to them. So that's number one. Number two, you're going to get a coach, a one-on-one coach. It will be me and your coach. So my job is I'm fixing your emails. I'm helping you respond to them. But every day you're going to have questions. And your coach is going to be a former D1 soccer player or even a current D1 soccer player who soon is going to graduate and is a former student of mine. So they did exactly as I said. And you're going to talk to a college coach and to get advice from them so we can do this process accurately. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. Then you're going to message us on Discord. Discord is your son, I'm sure. Do you know what Discord is, Mr. Andres? So just for your mom, it's just an app.
Yeah.
It's just so he
Yes,
can
sir.
message us all the time. We want to edit all your videos. We also want to do game video review. Andres, do you know who Femi is? Femi Adewenge?
Yes. Everyone says I'm like him.
Yeah, you are. Your positioning is very similar. Your feet are very similar. So I want us to this player that we're talking about, Miss Isabel, is a D1 player. He played at Penn State and then he just signed pro. Your son is very similar to him in a good way.
She knows about.
Oh, you know Femi.
I told her about.
Okay, your son is very similar.
Wow.
He's very similar. I'm not the first one to say that. I need.
What is
people
the
to
last
know.
name?
Femi Adewenge. Is that how you say it, Andres?
Awodesu.
Audesu. Femi Audesu.
Ah, okay. Yeah. You told me
Remember the
about
guy I
him.
showed you? The Penn State?
Yeah.
He played for Penn State? Yes.
Your
him.
son,
Yes.
your son is heading in a similar direction, but the coaches need to know that, and I want to make sure they know that because there are a lot of similarities. Which is to say, we got to go through the game and say, hey, like I watched Femi live because he's playing pro now, and I actually made a video about it, about what I scouted him in one of my TikToks, and he should have done this, and this to play college soccer. Now he knows what he's doing, but I need to do the same thing with you, Andres. You should do this, and this if you want to play college. So we're going to go through game video and say, you know what, in this moment, you should have actually passed it differently. You should have moved to a different position. Instead of taking the space, if you watch Femi, he never takes the space anymore. He doesn't move, waits for pressure to draw to him. So we have to talk about those things. Does that make sense? Mr. Andres?
Yes, sir.
Okay, cool. So you're going to get the Google Drive, which is
Yes,
this folder. You're going to get the same folder and the same document, just like Ethan did. We're going to edit all your videos. The thing is this, to work with me, this is the cost. We're a lifetime deal. So we're with you through the end of college. If you want to go pro, we'll help you with the pro part. But I played college and then played pro. But college is what I care about the most. I want you to go to school. So to say that, if in the first 3 months, this goes back to your mom's question about, how even if they're not responding, are they taking notes? The answer is they are taking notes. But also, I want him talking to D3 schools today, and I want him to get invites to camps today, and I want him going to those events. Like I keep bringing up Ethan. Go talk to Ethan yourself. He'll tell you Division III schools were responding to him, and that was really helpful for leverage because eventually the D1 schools are not going to respond to him just because they're going to, like Duke wasn't like, we love you, we love you. They weren't. Even when June 15th happened, they weren't the first to say, yes, we want you. He got interest from other schools first. That made Duke maybe feel uncomfortable. We have to, it's a game. And all these coaches don't care about you, Andres. They only care about their careers. Does that make sense? Their job is to win games. You're a great person, but the moment you're not playing soccer, they're going to move on. Does that make sense? Okay. Now, the last thing is this. If you keep your grades above a 4.0 or above a 3.8, which you've done beyond a great job with, we can basically guarantee, I don't say guarantee, but our record so far has been a minimum of $60,000 to $80,000 per year, per over 4 years. So you're looking at $100,000 if you keep your grades up through academics alone. Then there is something called NLI where you can actually get paid. There's not a lot of money in that for boys right now, but also there is the fact that you could get athletic scholarship as well. And that is realistic for you. Does that make sense? Okay, so this is the last thing. I believe you can play at a high level, Ms. Andres, but the problem is there's a lot of players who are really good. So the question is not about how good you are anymore. It's about how many times can you get seen. That's the key. So that is to say this. I only work with one player per position. So I will not work with another center back, if that's the position you're playing the most right now, wants to play D1, who has a 4.0 as of 2027. Does that make sense?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So my question,
I got lost with that. So
Yeah.
you play you
I can explain.
you
it
are
again.
working with only one player for one position, something like that.
One player
Like
per position per grad year. So your son is a 2027. I will not work with another 2027 who's also a center back who has a 4.0 GPA. Does that make sense?
Oh wow!
I only
So
work
you will
with,
have only.
I can only work with 11
because
players,
that was one thing that was worried. I say you take more kids from ING, for instance. You know how you will. You know what I mean?
I'll be
If another-
compete. I agree.
Exactly. If one of Andres' classmates from ING, because now knowing about Ethan, even my husband asked me, okay, there are more kids from IMG asking him for guidance.
It's true.
How he will, how he will play,
That's
how
true.
he will, fight for them. So that is good to know that in that case, you will have only one center back.
That's correct. And one center back, even if it's not IMG, I will not work with another center back with a 4.0 in his class. So to say that,
Perfect.
here's the last thing, because I have to run. I'm a little bit late. I'm sorry. Is to work with me, I have to know in 24 hours if you want to work with me, because I only work with so many students and I want to prioritize the students that want to work with me. So Andres, my question to you is, why do you think you're a good fit to work with me?
I think that you have experience with players that are kind of in my position. And I also think that you have the credibility that would help me a lot. And just the resources you have are very
like the main thing that he had was he said he had connections in the Northeast and things like that. But even with the NCAA rules, I don't even think that would help very much with me.
Connections are always important. And if you have somebody that knows somebody, I'm going to help you leverage it. I'm not ever going to get in your way. I'm on your team. But let me ask your mom the same question. Why do you think your son is a good fit to work with me?
Based on what you said, because again, Andres is the one who was looking for all this. So I just saw the video before I was meeting with you. So I'm trusting him and trusting you now. It's a little bit scary because we are putting, a lot of effort on this. But based on the video, how well organized you are with the process, I can tell you, Andres will respond to that. He's super organized and he's really able to give his best all the time. He's really as well like that. He's really looking for the best results all the time. He really challenge himself all the time. So I think if you work like this, he will be a good fit for you in terms of how he works for himself.
Yeah, very well said. Thank you. And I appreciate your honesty. Having said that, here's the last thing. Because I only work with one player per grad year per position, I have to have an answer in 24 hours. I don't want you to work with me today. I want you to go think about it. You're not allowed to move forward. I want you to go talk to your husband and to your father. And I also want you to talk to Ethan. Go talk to Casey. Go talk to Ethan. They're going to try and scare you away. I told you at the beginning of this, my job was to try and scare you away. Have I scared you away, Mr. Andres?
No, sir.
No? Okay, so here's the last thing. I'm going to email you everything. There's a contract. The contract says this. If his grades drop below a 3.8, we are not going to work together anymore. If he doesn't give me video, then he's going to be fired. I know he'll get me video because I have the video, but you understand the idea. If he doesn't show up to the meetings, then he's also fired. And it lastly says that if in the first 3 months you're not being genuinely recruited, which means phone calls, texts, emails, compliments on his video, then I'll fully refund you within those 3 months. Does that make sense?
Okay. Yes,
Yes,
send us the, and let's be sure that my email is included. I need all the information because I need to share it with my husband.
Yes.
For all these meetings, the meetings that will continue every week, you say, will be with the player, no?
Yes, they'll be with one of my coaches.
And with the player, but you don't need to meet with the parents all the time. I guess.
No. There will be times when we request you, but it's not your job. We are supposed to be with him.
Yeah, no, I know. And the kids, the player, the student needs to, they are the ones who really pick up the school. And for instance, he told me Notre Dame. I didn't even know. It's his choice. It's what he wants. Yeah.
So to answer your question is, there will be times when we need your advice, but the answer is we need to talk to him every day. And everything is recorded. So whenever we have a meeting, you'll get the recording of it. You can watch it. You can ask us questions. Everything is recorded and sent to you each time. So that's obviously very important. So I have to go. The last thing, Andres, I just want to say this. Let's forget the money aside, right? If we get you a scholarship, $5,000 is pretty cheap. Let's just put that away for a minute. If you were to work with me, are you leaning towards yes, maybe, or no?
I'm leaning towards yes.
Okay. And then from your mom's perspective, I know you want to talk to your husband. Does it make sense, everything I've said, just so I can answer any last questions?
No, I think I have a very good idea, but let me share with him. So you send me an email with this details about the payment. then we will talk to him. Yeah.
Perfect. It was so lovely talking to you guys. I'll talk to you by tomorrow.
Okay. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye.
See you, Andres.
Bye.
Okay, sorry everybody. I got
Recording
one
in
more call.
progress.
One more call that I was late to. Mr. Joel, can you hear me? Mr. Joel, can you hear me? Check 1, 2.
Hello? Yeah.
Hello, there you are. Hello, everybody. Sorry about the
How are
delay.
you?
I'm very good. So sorry about the delay. Thank you for your patience. I have nobody after you, so I will take all the time we need. Just before we get started, could I ask who found me first?
I did. I found you through a friend. He said he works for you.
Which friend is that?
His name's Cristobal Carranza.
Of course. Cristobal and I go way back. Cristobal, I've worked with Cristobal starting, oh my gosh, feels like a forever ago now, but he is one of my best coaches, actually. And he's going to get to play college soccer, which is like the best combination ever. So, yes, that is correct. He is. And having said that, have you seen any of my videos, or it was just him who told you about me?
It was just him that told me about you.
Okay.
Yeah,
cool.
I don't think I've seen your videos before.
Okay. And did you get to see kind of the longer video I sent before this?
Yeah. Where you walk through like the Gmail and all that stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, we did.
Perfect. And I have that you wrote here, Cristobal. I just wanted to make sure that was true. Awesome. And I'm very familiar with Chicago Magic. I went to school in Indiana. So Chicago Magic, I have many former friends who played for Chicago Magic. So that brings me to this. My first question is if I can explain to you guys kind of the agenda for today. Is that okay?
Yeah.
Okay. So Cristobal prepared me for the call today. He told me a little bit about you. I got to see your information, but I want to interview you. So I need to ask you some questions. Okay. So that's number one. Number two, I need you to ask me some questions. So my first question to you is, do you have a highlight video of some kind, or you don't have anything?
I do, but it's not like on YouTube or uploaded. I have videos on my camera roll though.
Okay. Is on your camera roll. Okay, we'll talk about that at the end. I'm going to be honest. I don't want to work with you unless I can see you as a soccer player. You know, if I don't know how good you are, it's not fair for me to tell you my fee and work with you, because what if you're not good enough, or what if I don't think I can help you? So what I'm going to have you do at the end, I'm going to do my whole spiel, but at the end of the call, I'm going to have you upload it to YouTube, or you can make it unlisted, so it's just so I can see it, and you're going to send it to me. And while we're going to have this conversation, I'm just going to be honest and say I don't know if I can help you until I see the video.
I could send it right now through the text message.
That'd be
great.
That would be amazing. Thank you.
Okay.
That'd be awesome. Perfect. While we're waiting on that, I'm going to ask you a couple questions at the same time. Is that okay?
Yeah.
Okay. So my first question is, I know you're 2025, correct?
Yes.
As a 2025, how many phone calls have you had up to this point?
None.
Okay. And anybody talk about coming on a visit?
No.
Okay. And right now, the level of your Chicago Magic team is, you mentioned ECNL, RL, and ECNL. Are you going between both?
No, I was playing ECNL RL, but prior to this, I was with the Clips, and I played ECNL a couple games there as well.
So most of the time you've been playing ECNL RL. Is that okay? Is that correct?
Yeah.
Okay, got it. Super helpful. And if I were to say to you, what do you want the most help with? I would assume it would, well, let's start there. What do you want the most help with?
Just getting started, because I know the process as a whole is like very overwhelming and a lot to like start off. And because I'm like a first generation student that's gonna go to college, and my family's not that educated, so it's gonna be like the first step. I just want to learn how to take that first step to put myself out there.
Very well said. Very well said. And having said that, if I would ask you why, well, let me ask your father actually. What do you think your son needs the most help with?
I think like getting into the like videos, uploading videos, and pretty much putting himself out there to see like different schools and stuff like that for the coaches. I think that's what he needs help on that, because we don't have nothing like videos that we could submit to coaches or stuff like that, or we don't have the knowledge to pretty much look into or step up to talk to coaches, or we don't know a lot of coaches in the for colleges and stuff like that.
I understand. Okay, that's super helpful. And if I were to ask you, Mr. Joel, why do you want to go through all this? What would you say? Why do you want to do this?
Because I know I have the capability to play D1 or D2 soccer, and I'm a hard worker, and I know I could definitely be at that standard to play college soccer. And
Okay.
Not only am I a good soccer player, I'm also a very good student.
You are a very good student. I saw that. Phenomenal student. Okay, let me see. I want to see your video.
Yeah, I sent it to you right now.
You did via text?
Yes, via text.
Oh, here it is. Okay, I got it. Let me ask your father one question. Why do you want to see your son play college soccer?
That's pretty much, it'll be like a dream, but it'll be more for him. For he's so into soccer and everything. So pretty much for me, it'll be something real excited to see him. I enjoy it every time of the games that he goes to play. So playing him in a bigger league or in D1, it'll be phenomenal for me to see him playing.
That is very exciting. Okay, so I'm watching your video. Just give me a minute so I can watch the whole thing here. Hold on.
I hear the ball. I can't hear.
Oh.
Okay, 1 second here.
There.
Where?
Have your club coaches talked to you at all about how they're going to help you, or not so much?
Not so much.
Okay. All right. So look, I'm going to watch the rest of your video, but I have to say I really like what I see. I want to be honest with your current situation. Is that okay?
Yeah.
All right. So first thing is this. Both of you had mentioned like playing D1, D2. And as you were telling me everything, honestly, the first thing I was thinking about telling you was that's not realistic. You're way too late.
Yeah.
You have no calls. You haven't even got visits. You have a great GPA. So that means you can get a lot of scholarship money. You're first generation, so you can also get a lot of scholarship money for that. And, D3 might be realistic because of how late you are. But I am watching your video, and, I think Division 2 and Division 1 is not out of the question, which is a problem for two reasons. It's a problem because you're going to be disappointed if you don't play D1. And the reason that's a problem is you are really late. You're really, really late. And you're not playing for a team that gets traditional exposure. So you're the type of player, and this does happen to me sometimes, not very often, where I come across a player that probably deserves to play D1, but hasn't taken the steps. And then in your head, you're going, your expectation is D1, and then you're sad no matter where you go. So I want to say this first. You can definitely play college soccer at a good school. The top academic D3 schools, which are really good, okay, they're amazing, you're pretty much too late for. They're pretty much going to be done in a month. So that's a problem, obviously. Now, the D1s and D2s, they are done in like November, December. So you have a little bit more time with them. Now, I guess my next follow-up question would be this. You have great grades. Are you open to would you rather not play college soccer or go to a good D3 program with good academics?
I'd rather not play college soccer because I'm also in a program called QuestBridge, and I'm partnered with like a bunch of other Ivy League schools where I'm getting looked at, like Yale, Dartmouth, Stanford, like schools like that. So if I would go D3, I would rather go to like school and not play college soccer because my education's the first thing, like the most important thing to me.
Okay, I love that. Education should come first. I like hearing that. Father, would you agree? Education comes first?
I always tell them first thing is education, academics first, and sports. There's always things to do with sports.
Okay, good. Okay, I like that answer. Here's the problem with the answer is I don't think D1 soccer is possible today. I just don't think it's realistic. I don't think you're not going to get recruited to play D1. You're not going to get recruited to play Ivy League. From what you've shown me today, you cannot send that video to any coaches. It's not formatted correctly. It's not good enough. You cannot send that to anybody. On top of that, you haven't really done anything, and so they don't know you. So here's the project we can take on. I played JV soccer as a junior in high school. Nobody thought I could play college. Nobody thought I could play pro. I went on to play D1 soccer and get a full ride, and I went on to play pro soccer for 10 years. Now, that wasn't because I was so good and nobody noticed me. It was because I was pretty good, and I did a frick ton of work off the field. Videos, emails, mess up, do it again, over and over again. And it happened that my father was an Emmy Award-winning filmmaker, so he could make some pretty damn good videos. So the good news is, obviously, that's what I do, and I want to help you take that process. But I want to be honest and say this. If you work with me, we're going to have to email D3 and D2 programs. That is going to be part of the process. Now, the only reason we're going to do that is in hopes of getting a D1 school. So, for example, let's say you get into a D1 program called IUPUI. Have you heard of IUPUI?
No.
Okay, it's a school in Illinois. No, it's Indiana, technically. Have you heard of UIC?
Yeah, I heard of UIC.
Okay, so UIC is a lower tier D1 program. They're very good at soccer. But would you go to UIC? Probably not, right? Because you're talking about these top academic schools. So for those top academic schools, the boat has pretty much passed. It's very difficult. So here's the dilemma that you guys can decide to take on. And I don't want to make you give up because, like, I was told many times after many injuries I would never play again, and of course I did. So I don't want to put that on you. But I want to say this, that if you want to play college soccer, you have to email all the top academic D3s, skip D2 entirely, do not email any of them, and you have to email every D1 school. And you can't do any of that until you fix your video and you make a lot more of it. Then the answer is this. In the next couple months, if you use my systems, the AI and everything else, you will know if you can play college soccer at an Ivy League school. But you will have to send that. You'll have to do that many emails, and you'll have to go to camps. And the Ivy League schools camps are this summer. You've already missed 90% of them. There's a few more coming up in August. And it's possible because you have such great grades and given your personality and you are a good enough soccer player that you could beat the odds. But the club you play for are not going to the showcases where they're recruiting you.
Yeah.
Okay. So that kind of brings me to this. I'm going to show you two examples here. Actually, I'm going to show you two examples, but you can only.
Can I ask you?
Yeah.
So that club that he's in, so he's worthless continuing being in that club, right?
Debatable. It depends. If you were to tell me he's going to play no club soccer, that doesn't work. It's better than something. But if you're thinking about leaving, the problem is most of the tryouts are ended. But the answer is, you got to be playing MLSX or ECNL if you want to go to an Ivy League school.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
No, yeah.
Okay. All right. So I'm going to show you this, and then we'll have a discussion about it. So with me, to beat the odds, this is what we're going to have to do. Step number one, we have meetings every Sunday, and my kids are at Ivy League schools. We have a kid at Harvard. We have a kid at Brown. We have a kid at Dartmouth. So if you want to get recruited, I need you to talk to those kids because you got to know what it's like. You're going to get a one-on-one coach. And in your case, you won't get Cristobal. Cristobal is amazing, but I'm going to connect you with a different coach who's more experienced in this in your scenario. And you got to meet me every single week for the next 2 months. Normally I say 1 month, but for you, it's got to be 2 months. Non-negotiable. Make sense?
Yes.
Okay. Then you're going to message us on Discord. Don't worry about that. Well, I got to edit your videos. So you got 2 good videos. I got to edit all of them. I got to fix them. And then we're not going to have time for this. You guys saw the Google Drive and the AI system. So the key is this. If we email the top academic D3 schools and they show interest in you, real interest, like phone calls, come to camp, which is going to be kind of late for, but just entertain me for a minute. The top academic D3 programs, they show real interest. When the D1 schools, who we are going to email, and they say to you, hey, we like your video. What's your schedule? Hey, we like your video. Can you come to our camp? You're going to have to say you're talking to the top academic D3 schools. So the answer is if you don't get responses from the top academic D3s, then you will not be able to get to the D1s. The other thing is every D1 school you go to is going to tell you to come to camp, every single one. And you're going to go, your camp is full. And then they're going to tell you this. You're going to go to their camp and they're going to say, it was great. You were fantastic. We need to see you at a showcase. And you're not going to be at the showcases. So the problem is what you have to do then is get offers from the other schools. And then you have to have leverage and say, hey, University of Chicago, Carnegie Mellon, MIT, they want me, but I can only go to your camp. I can't go to a showcase because we're not going. And they may go, well, let me call MIT, let me call Chicago, because those same coaches want the jobs at Dartmouth, etc. And if they can help you go to those schools, then they will help you. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay. So here's my concern. All right. So let me say this. To work with me, this is the cost. Now, having said that, I'm a lifetime deal. Okay. So I'm with you until you graduate college. Now, I'm going to be honest. We have 3 months to try this. And it's possible that even with we do what I'm going to do, it's not going to work. And the good news is if it doesn't work, I'm going to refund you. And I'm going to say, look, I should not take on your case. That is the truth. We're heading up an uphill battle. But I like challenges. I was in your shoes, and I'm curious if I can make this work for you. But it's going to mean a lot of work for you. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
All right. So there's one other option I'm going to share with you. I can't. I wish I could. I want to give you the AI system, but the problem with the AI system, as amazing as it is, unless you have guidance, it's not going to help you. So this is that other option is cheaper, but it doesn't work. So I can't give it to you, unfortunately. So having said that, let me ask you guys this, and you can be honest with me. Is this something is in your budget?
No.
Okay. So having said it's not in your budget, here's the other option. And I like that you're a first generation, like going to school. So here's what I'm going to show you. Okay. I'm going to show you this. Again, I don't know if this will work for you, but for this, I can give you a one-time meeting with a coach. You'll get the AI system. You'll get the AI system. You have to edit your video and hire someone. I will give you someone to do it. I will give you someone to hire. It's cheap, $20, someone to hire. And then you're going to get the document with the directions. You must read everything. That's the only way you're going to get recruited, because now you're going to have to do this on your own. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Now I'm going to give you one meeting for an hour with one of my coaches who's experienced to this. He's going to tell you what you need to do. He's going to tell you how to fix your video. He's going to show you how to use the system. And this way, at least you could do it on your own. And there's no money back guarantee. There's nothing. This is just to show you what to do. And then you do it on your own. Does that make sense?
Yeah, makes sense.
Okay. Is that in your budget?
The 500.
Say it one more time.
Yeah, the 500.
Okay. Good.
Other
Okay.
than that, that's your best. What you show us on the first time, the 5,000. That's the best price on it.
Good question. I normally charge 10, so that was a discount. So this is the only way I can help you guys. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
All right. So here's the last thing. With this model, if you decide to do this, you must do this in the next 24 hours. You don't have to schedule your call with the coach, but I need to receive the payment in the 24 hours because I don't offer this, and I need to change my schedule so we can make it happen, because it's not something that I do nor typically. Does that make sense?
Okay. And I have a question. So like the directions that you would give me, like what would I have to like? Can you just give me a little bit of a like background on like how that would work and things like that?
Yeah. So first, I'm going to tell you everything you need to fix in your video. Second, I'm going to write your email for you so you know what to send out to the coaches. Then I'm going to show you what you send to what you're going to use the AI for, like what schools you're going to send to first. And then I'm going to show you how to respond to those coaches once they respond to you. After that, if you got to talk to me again, we'll have to book another call. But those are the 4 things we got to do.
Okay.
Does that make sense or no?
Yeah, it makes sense.
Okay. From your father's perspective, does that make sense too?
Yeah. The only thing you said, you got someone that does the edit for the videos and stuff like that.
Yeah, I'm going to give you his contact information, and you guys will contact him on your own.
Okay.
He's cheap. He's on Fiverr. Do you know what Fiverr is?
No.
Fiverr is like it's a website where, frankly, people from other countries work for cheap, and they'll edit your videos. He was trained by me, so he'll know what to do.
Okay.
Okay. So this is the custom offer, and this is for you in yours, which I have to be honest. I mean, this is the best that you can get in your situation, and I am confident. Yeah, you'll get results. The problem is you only want to go to an Ivy League school, and then you might be better off just playing college soccer on the club team. That might be better for you. But you shouldn't give up. Like, it's not too late. Somebody could get injured tomorrow and you could have a spot. But the Ivy League schools are done recruiting typically, in the next month, and you're behind a lot of other students, and they have to see you in person typically 2 to 6 times before they'll make you an offer.
I was also gonna say I'm not like necessarily interested in playing like for an Ivy League school. I'm just saying like that's a program that I'm in that like I would rather go to an Ivy League school just to learn rather than going to a Division III school and like playing soccer but receiving a lower education. So
Well
that's
said.
why
That's a good point. Now, what if you could receive an equal or better education at D3?
Yeah, I wouldn't mind that.
Okay.
That's what I'm trying to say, because I feel like you
You
misunderstood me that I want to only go to Ivy League. That's not necessarily where I want to go.
Okay.
It's just
Thank you for telling me that.
Yeah, as long
Thank
as I
you for
could
saying
like play college soccer and receive a good education as well.
Okay, I'm glad you said that. So what you need to do, I'm going to give you a list of every top academic D3 school, and you need to email them all.
Okay.
That make sense?
Yeah, it makes sense.
Okay. It was very nice talking to you all. If you have any questions, let me know. Like I said, you have to decide this in 24 hours because this is not something I normally do. But first generation American, I appeal to that. You have great grades. You're a good soccer player. You deserve to play college soccer. You just started late.
Yeah, it's I don't want to make an excuse, but that's like pretty much the first thing I said, like, because it's I'm a first generation student, and like person just trying to like break the cycle, it's like kind of hard to like know what steps to take and to go in that direction of playing college soccer. So
it is hard, and unfortunately the college coaches have very little empathy. Having said that, yeah. I'm going to help you write your first email. I'm going to help you send out the emails. And if you're open to playing D3 at a top academic, that is realistic. That is still, because you're very good. That is possible.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
And yeah, it makes sense. And the information that you wrote down, will I receive it like in a text message or like
Good question.
email?
I emailed it to you. I just sent it over. You want to double check you got it?
Yeah.
And I was going to ask you, how do you take the payments? Credit card or?
Yes, you'll see a credit card link for you.
Oh, okay. So he already.
And the moment you send that in, what's going to happen is you're going to get a second email with the schedule of the coach and all the documents and all the AI system and everything else. Once I receive the one payment, then you're going to get a second email on how to do everything.
Okay.
Sound good?
All right. Yes, makes sense. Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome, guys. It was a pleasure talking to you, and I'll talk to you soon.
You as well. Bye.
Bye. Hello, everybody. Okay, I got one more call, actually. One more call. Thought I was going to be done, but one more call. Okay, he was a good soccer player, but his video is just not the level. His video just wasn't good. Okay, but add a name on your highlight video. Okay, it's too late. I'm going to junior. Is it too late? I'm going to junior. It's not too late. What state does this take place? I'm sorry. What do you mean? What state? Everything we do is online. If I play ETRL and UPSL, what colleges should I look for anyone? Class of 26, D3 and D2 first. How many coaches is too many to have them call a reference? 3. 3 is enough. Don't do more than 3. So how many levels to college soccer JUCO is a great route? So many levels to college soccer JUCO is a great route. It is true. What state do you got to be in? You can be in any state in the country. Hey man, I want to ask you, how do I get noticed by clubs or colleges as a Sunday League player? You need to go to a local ID camp and make a highlight video. As long as you're playing close to semi-pro, you'll be fine. That is not true. You will not play college soccer if you're playing semi-pro. That's not a guarantee anyways. You could, but it's not a guarantee. And what differences does that make if my highlights are from local youth and from MLS Next? MLS Next means the coaches will like the video a lot better. Are you the college soccer guy? I'm the college soccer guy. Don't aim too high and be realistic. Okay. Well, you have to play at a good level like UPSL MLS Next. Just to send some emails and see the response both. That'll tell you if it's good or not. How do you know your highlight's good or not? You can submit it to the link here, and we could probably take a look at it. It's easy, bro. Use Recruit Ref to find coaches' emails. Recruit Ref is very inaccurate. It's very, very inaccurate. Do not use. I've used it. It does not work. Go to the website of the college coaches. RecruitRef is very outdated. I'm at a school with loads of Norwegian. I'm English. I did this whole process by myself. Noah Farrington, good job. Congratulations. Email coaches, send your highlights, and boom, that is no need to spend bread. I'm trying to know if I should do college soccer if I'm from Norway. Okay, I'm about to say email head coaches. I want to try this college soccer. Trust me, I've been through this process. That's not how it works, mate. Is the correct candidate? I'll help you find your basically everything for you. Gio, the thing is, if you're the correct candidate, he'll help you do and basically everything for you. There's truth to that. That's not how it works, mate. What's up, Gio? It varies per person. This Gio says you don't need a service. If you don't need a service, then that's good. You're at it. 5 usually. I'm guessing. Okay. What is the price? You know, I thought this kid was a top academic. You know, yeah, I know. Just thought this kid was a top academic. If I'm playing REL, should I look at D3 or NAIA? If I'm playing REL, should I look at D3 or NAIA? I would look at both. I look at both. It's never too late. It's all about and that's how college soccer is. The beginning. Okay. I started emailing D2s my senior year in August, and I got 8 Division 2 offers. I don't agree. Gio, that's awesome. This student is not emailing any D2s. He was only wanted to email top academic D3s. But I'm glad you disagree. I'm not perfect. Everyone's welcome to their own opinion. What grade is the guy in the live? He was going into his senior year. Then you can probably request him not to be on live. Yeah, if you don't want me to be on live when I call you, Rudy, link in the bio to call me. If you don't want to me to be on live, just let me know. What youth league events do colleges go, and when do they start interest at what age? They go to MLS Next and MLS playoffs and ECNL playoffs and Surf Cup and Jefferson's Cup and Las Vegas Cup, and they typically will start coming to your showcases around sophomore year, but also junior year and freshman. But typically, if you want to get recruited as younger than a sophomore, then you have to go to their camp. Okay. Good questions, guys. Very good questions. If I'm playing on a top 5 ECNL team, what college level should I aim for? If I'm playing on a top 5 ECNL team, you should aim for D1, probably. If semi-pro in Europe, you're capable. You may be capable, but that doesn't mean they're going to take you, unfortunately, even if they should. But sometimes they just don't. Okay, I think I have one more call here. Let's see.
Please leave your message for 9.
This is Zev.
Hello?
Hello, everybody. This is Zev. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah.
Perfect. Are you guys able to jump on the Zoom?
We're in the Zoom now. It's just waiting for a host to start the meeting.
Incredible. Okay. It should pop on now. Hold on one second. Hello, everybody. Perfect. Thanks so much for all of you joining me. I appreciate that. I apologize for whatever mix-up there was, but thank you. I appreciate it. I'm excited to talk to all of you. Could I just briefly ask who found me first?
I feel like it was kind of collective. Like I saw you on TikTok, and then my mom saw you on Instagram at some point. So it was kind of like a team effort.
Team effort. That's my favorite. Okay, perfect. So what did you guys tell your dad about me, since maybe he doesn't know me as well?
he also found you.
Okay.
So it was a real big team effort.
Okay, I like that. Perfect. Okay, great. So having said that, could I ask if it's okay if I kind of talk about the goal today?
Yeah.
So the first thing is to see if we're the right fit. I don't know if I am, so I want to interview you, and then I want you to interview me and see if if you think I'm the right person to help you. So having said that, the goal here is to also see if I can scare you away from playing college soccer. Because if I can scare you away, then mom and dad don't have to do anything. They can just relax and chill. So having said that, I have a couple questions for, do you pronounce it Gianni?
Yeah, Gianni.
Okay. I have a couple questions for you first, just to confirm a couple things. Can I confirm you're 2026?
Yeah.
Okay, great. And then right now, as of 2026, how many phone calls have you had with college coaches?
No phone calls.
Has anybody talked about going on a visit?
Nah.
Okay. Now I'm going to send you your video on the Zoom chat because I wanted to go over it with you. But the issue was I wasn't able to access it. Can you take a look at it?
Yes.
Maybe it'll work on your end. But on my end, it did not work. It said it's removed by the uploader.
I'll send in an updated one.
Thank you.
That's the wrong one. Did you go to if you click here, the actual one? Yeah.
Okay, perfect. Sorry, guys, 1 second.
Come on, Mike.
Sorry, let me see something real quick. Okay, the link you just sent me, that's weird. I still wasn't able to work it. Did you send me another link? Yeah, you did. Okay, hold on. Okay, good. This is the link I saw before. Okay, great. I just wanted to be able to share my screen when I go through it with you guys. Okay, so having said all that, no phone calls yet. Nobody's talked about coming on a visit in the fall yet?
No, not yet.
Okay. And right now, is that coming from you guys or from me?
Gianni.
Might be coming from us.
Might be coming from me too. Okay, there we go. If I were to ask you what do you want the most help with, what would you say that is? What do you want the most help in the recruiting process?
I feel like just more recognition from colleges and kind of like more personal conversations with coaches. Maybe not personal, but kind of like more real conversations rather than like automated responses and stuff like that.
Awesome. And from your parents' perspective, what do you think he needs the most help with?
I think he needs help with just fully understanding what are all the steps that need to be taken. There's a few guys who are obviously so talented that coaches are going to go after them, but most guys there's a lot of guys that get attention and some guys who are equally good who don't. So we want to make sure we're hitting all the bases to give him the best possible chance of playing at the highest level he can play.
Yeah, well said. Okay, super helpful. And from mom, would you like to add anything?
This process is extremely overwhelming and there's just a lot to figure out, from realistic options to stretch options and stretch goals for him, and kind of narrowing down. There's so many schools, there's so many great schools, and there's so many schools that honestly, like, academics come first to me. And while I want him to be the next Emmy Martinez without the attitude, I think it's extremely important that he has a plan if soccer isn't the thing that makes him happy and or successful. And I want him at a school that's going to provide that for him.
Awesome. And did you guys get a chance to see that longer video I tried to make you watch, which talked about the AI and how academics come first?
Yeah.
Okay, awesome. Thank you for watching that. So having said that, right now, if I were to say to you, Gianni, why do you want to play college soccer? What would you say? Why do you want to put your parents through all this? Why do you want to put me through all this?
Probably because like I've loved playing soccer. Like I've loved just kind of going onto the field and like forgetting about everything off the field and just going to play like the game that I love, and then being able to continue to do that at like a higher level, with some coaches who, like, if I'm getting recruited, somebody who like wants me to play with them, like I want to be in that type of environment.
Awesome.
And then also gives me the best shot of maybe continuing like past college level into other levels past that.
Awesome. Okay, cool. And from your parents' perspective, I agree. Academics come first. Soccer might be a reason we're able to do that. Having said that, why do you guys want to see him play college soccer?
For me, I think human beings need to be well-rounded individuals, and I think team sports provides something really unique in the development of character. So while, like I said, academics are really important for him, I also want him to become an adult who learns discipline, consistency, self-respect, and takes that on into the world. So I think soccer, for me, had it not been soccer, I would have wished another team sport, so that he can start developing these characteristics that I think are important as a well-rounded human being in life.
Amazing. From your father's perspective, anything you want to add?
Yeah, he's learned a lot of those lessons and done a lot of growing up so far, just in the competitive side he's been playing on. And so we're just hoping to continue to give him those opportunities, because they'll just keep maturing and learning those lessons if he keeps playing. College is the next step for him, and he enjoys playing. So just giving him the best possible opportunity to play the game, enjoy the game. There's a lot of great experience he's had playing at the MLS Next Level. And I know there's additional opportunities that he'll really enjoy if he gets a chance to play at the college level. So just giving him a chance to have something fun to look forward to have responsibility in addition to his academics when he goes on to the next step after high school.
Awesome.
The other thing is like exposure to things, right? Like he's been to England, he's been to Spain, through soccer opportunities, right? So I think just continued exposure to the world outside of the bubble that we live in, I think is also really important in his development.
Amazing. And if it's okay with you guys, I kind of want to give you my opinion of your son and his situation right now. Is that okay?
Yeah.
Okay, so first thing is, I went through all your videos. You know, you sent me the one video, I saw your page, I went through all of them, and you've got great feet. There's no doubt about that. And you've got good hands. The format of your videos I need to change. Some of the orders are not what I want. You're also missing a training video, and your highlight video, which is kind of your main video, is in the wrong order. You never put feet first. You cannot do that. You're a goalkeeper first. Got to put your saves first. Now, some coaches, and I know it's in sections, but like it's not in chapters on YouTube, so that has to be fixed. So the first big red flag for me is whatever you're sending out, it's already not A+. Not saying it's bad because you are a good goalkeeper, but that's that piece. The other thing is, based off of the communication you've kind of started, I'm really concerned that you haven't had phone calls or been talking about visits, because you're a good goalkeeper. And the reason I'm concerned is coaches know what they need in a goalkeeper 2 to 3 years in advance. So you're not a classic, 2026. They can commit those kids. Like we had a kid commit to Duke 2 weeks ago, and he's not a goalkeeper. So goalkeepers can get recruited very quickly because they already know what they need in advance. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. Now, the good news. So that was me being harsh, and I think it's important to be honest. The good news, look, you're a good soccer player. Yeah, I think you play Division I soccer. That's my personal opinion. Maybe your coaches think otherwise, or maybe they've told you the same thing. But here's the problem. If you want to play D1, and that's your expectation, which I think is realistic, you're now competing with the best of the best. If you wanted to play D3 soccer at a mid-tier school, your life would be a lot easier, and you'd be probably some ways happier. But you want the best schools. Would you agree?
Yeah.
And not only do you want the best schools, you want the best academic schools. And that makes it even more challenging because they are the most competitive. Every single kid with your grades who's a goalkeeper wants to go to the exact same schools. Does that make sense?
Sure.
Okay. So some of the schools you mentioned, like Clemson, UCLA, Georgetown, you're a very good goalkeeper. Your video merits their attention. You deserve it. But I already know that they are talking, like on June 15th, you didn't get any calls?
Not calls. I got a few emails, but not any calls.
Okay. Emails are good. Okay. We want to leverage that. But like no calls, you're behind somebody. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. So going to what your parents mentioned, which is like more exposure, finding the right place and, making sure we're staying organized and pick the schools that are realistic, but also, living life lessons, which is important. Here's the steps I see for you. This is kind of step one, your videos are great. Okay. You're a good soccer player. That's the hard part. These videos that are really long, but they're every touches are lovely, but we have to split them up. Part 1, part 2, part 3, because they're never going to watch 12 minutes typically. Have them though is great. So I'm not going to delete this, but the other thing is all of this needs to go on social media. So if you have 12 minutes worth, that means you have 12 videos. You have 4, you have 35 videos right here that you should be sending to coaches every single week. Does that make sense? Yeah. We'll help you edit all that, but that's number 1, the videos. Number 2 is you're sending some kind of email because you've gotten some feedback, but I expect more from you. And I also can tell you that you have to have interest from the top academic D3s if you want to go to the top academic D1s. They expect that. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. So that's that piece. Now I know you've already probably researched and gone to camps, but I'm pretty specific because I vary it per age, per destination, per school you want to go to. So I need to pick some of your camps. And then whatever you've done already, I need to do what's called an audit. You know what an audit is?
A little bit.
Okay. Basically, if you were going to be, let's say you were a business and the government didn't believe about your spending, they would audit you and check you. Well, I need to audit you and see what you've done right, what you've done wrong, and figure out your situation. Does that make sense? Yeah. Now, your club soccer stuff, we're always going to have to deal with it. You play for a great team. I think you have a great coach. I know your coach. I don't know him personally, but I know who he is. And you're in a good situation. But it's really important that he helps us through this process. But he's not just going to help you out of the blue. You got to do the hard work first. Then we're going to bring him back in. That makes sense?
Yeah.
Okay. Then you've already narrowed down your list to a degree. You don't have an offer yet, correct? So you can't be too picky. You haven't earned the right unless you're willing to not play college soccer. We want to find the right place for you. So that's where we got to find out this. Then we're going to talk about who do you like. And then most importantly, academics come first. I totally agree with you. But if you don't like your coach, you will be miserable. So the main goal here is to help you find your coach. That makes sense?
Yeah.
All right. So that brings me to this. When we're working with students, you've heard of NCSA and all those other ones?
Yeah.
All right. So NCSA, I don't trust them. And to be completely transparent, you're basically too good for NCSA. The Clemsons and they're not on NCSA. They recruit through email and through their network, and you need to get part of that. So having said that, when you work with these, they don't edit your videos. You saw the AI system. They don't have the AI system. And mainly the big thing, they have their own version of it, but it always says NCSA, Scouting Zone, and you can't have that. It's got to be from your own account. That's what this does. And then I want to be able to talk to you all the time, and they do not. And then normally with them, you're locked in. So if you pay their fee and it's not working, they're like, too bad, I'm not. If it's not working with me, I'm going to refund it. Now, when I work with students, it varies. This can be the price. Yours is going to be different. We'll talk about that in a minute. But let me just ask you this briefly. When I go through these steps with you, is this the steps you think, Gianni, you are looking for?
Yeah, for sure.
Okay. And from your parents' perspective, knowing what to do, does this bring clarity to that situation?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, cool. So then that brings us to this. When I'm working with a student, I am very particular that I want things to move quickly for various reasons. One, because I think it's fair to you, but also because that's what it takes to get recruited. You have to go quickly to get recruited. So the first thing is we have meetings on Sundays. These meetings are players that play at UCLA, UCSB, Brown, Harvard. They're former students of mine that are at the places you want to go to. I want you to talk to them. I need you to say to them, what's it like? Do you like the coach? Because it's important. And obviously goalkeepers is who you need to speak to specifically. Then you're going to get a one-on-one coach. This coach that I've hired is either a former student of mine that has now helped more kids play college soccer at top schools than I have, and or it's a college coach. So I want them to teach you how to do the process. I will be monitoring everything, your videos, what emails you send, how you respond. I monitor everything, but I also want you having somebody to talk to every second of the day. Does that make sense? Okay. So they will message you and you'll message them on Discord. We will edit all your videos. So you already gave us your videos. I know you don't really need a circle as a goalkeeper, but it sometimes can serve a purpose. But the main thing is your highlight video today is not what I want. It's in the wrong order, and I need a self-interview, and I need a cover page. So I got to fix that. But the good news is you have a lot of video up front, and you'll see in the contract that if you don't have video, I basically fire you, and that's not your case. So I'll be able to move a lot faster with you. Does that make sense? Okay. Then we're going to go through game videos. So you're going to work with a college soccer person who's helpful in the recruiting process, but you'll also work with a goalkeeping person who you may, I know you already have a coach, but this is more like for example, in your video, I'll take this video because I like this one. So this is awesome, right? This is a great video. We need all the coaches to be getting videos from you all the time, like literally once a month, very aggressively. And that's how the student who committed to Duke, that's what we were doing with him. So immediately, this is amazing, just to show you. Oh, hold on. See how you waited until you drew pressure before you passed the ball? That's excellent. Excellent. But here's, and you've seen, obviously, you mentioned the goalkeeper that you admire without the attitude. But the next stage of this, and you've seen Ederson do this, and you are really good with your feet, is right now your first touch is brilliant. It's directly ahead of you. And then you decide to pass. Most people, which is a compliment, most goalkeepers take this first touch initially to this direction because they're so afraid. But then he doesn't come at you because they know then they can start their press. So that's great. But then when we get into what college coaches need to see, in this video, this stuff with your feet is great. And then when we get to the shot stopping, and this needs to be your first clip. This is an assist, okay? So we just have to change that. Does that make sense?
Yeah, for sure.
Okay. All right. So that's that piece of it. Okay. So then you're going to get the Google Drive and the AI. And look, I'm be honest with you guys. Your son's a great goalkeeper. He can play college soccer. Now, can he play college soccer at the top level schools? It's competitive. Okay. So I'm not saying he doesn't deserve a chance. I'm just saying that it's competitive. My job is to say, if I could force 100% of D1 coaches to watch his videos the way I did, I think 90% of them would want to know who he is and maybe at least have a call, if not have him on campus. But I'm never going to get 100% of coaches. Nobody can. But with the AI and the way I email and the way I fix videos, I can probably get 80% or 60% to look at it, which increases our percentages. Does that make sense?
Yeah,
okay.
For sure.
So then to work with me, I'm a lifetime deal. Okay. So you're with me for life. If you graduate college and you want to go pro, I went pro myself because of college. We help our students do that, but we have to do school first. And so you're not allowed to talk about that till you get to school. But with the student that committed to Duke, you know, he can start thinking about pro because he's already committed. He's got a 4-year contract at a great school. If that happens for you, we can do that. But I'm with you until you graduate college. So if God forbid somebody gets fired or anything else, we're with you for life. Make sense? Okay. And then if in the first 3 months you're not being recruited, then we refund it. I expect your son to be on calls with top academic D3 schools, tall calls and texts, which is, you'll see the contract, what genuinely recruited means. Texts and calls is a part of that, but that's aggressive. So I expect genuine compliments on the video. I do expect phone calls. I do really expect visits onto the schools this fall, but I'm a little crazy, but that's what I do expect. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. Now, having said that, the contract will say this: if you don't video, you're pretty much good to go. But otherwise, it says if you don't give me video, you're fired. But if you don't show up to my meetings, I cannot help you. So you have to come. Does that make sense? Now, if your son keeps the grades he's keeping, we're looking at $60,000 to $80,000 in scholarship. That's been the record so far for our students, for the schools we're going to aim for. Now, that's a combination of athletic and academic. And people go, well, academic, its own thing. Well, you're only going to get into the school if it's because of soccer, theoretically, or in addition to soccer. So the money might be academic, but you're getting it because you're on the soccer team. Does that make sense? Okay. So here's the last thing. You're not allowed to work with me today, Gianni. Like if you wanted to say, yes, we're down, we want to work with you. I only work with one position per grad year. So I will only work with one goalkeeper of your class for the next many years who wants to go to a top academic school. I may have another goalkeeper, but they're not going to be going to those schools. So having said that, if you had to work with me today, Gianni, what questions might you have for me?
Maybe like, what would the future look like on these phone calls with different colleges or text messages, like they're like genuine recruiting process? What exactly would that look like?
Okay, good question. Let me show you. So the kid that committed to Duke, this is what his day-to-day looked like. So you're going to get the same Google Drive as him. Okay, and here's all the videos we made for him. We're going to make the same unit training video, which is a little bit different, and we'll create that for you too. But this is us meeting every week, just like we're going to do with you. So in this time, he had a showcase. He had to follow up with all these schools. On this day, he had a phone call with Duke. He had to send their transcripts. He had to ask a bunch of questions. He had to get ready to the camp. This day, we're talking to Notre Dame, UCLA, MLS Next Cup. This is going to be you. We got to talk to Middlebury. Then we got to talk to UNH, St. Louis, da-da-da-da-da. So that's kind of what we're going to be doing with you. Does that make sense?
Yeah, for sure.
Okay. Does that answer your question?
Yeah, for sure, definitely.
For your parents, if you guys had to work with me today, what questions might you have?
So you said like there's a 3-month guarantee that the recruitment process starts. In some ways, this recruitment process has started, right? We've received emails, we've received automated and personal invites to ID camps. We've got a showcase we're going to on Monday. His former goalkeeper coach is the head assistant at Delaware that he's been in contact with. So from your end, the guarantee that what we will see in the first 3 months, what does that constitute? Us seeing?
Good question.
So that
Yeah, sorry. I was just going to add, anything you've already done does not count. We're not taking credit for any of that stuff. It's only if those same things are moving further along and you believe we had something to do with it, or frankly with other schools. So those won't count. And we're going to have an audit. So he's going to submit kind of everything he's done on the document, and that will be our measure. So if it's like, for example, Delaware wants a call with us and we sent them a video that we edited, I don't have to take credit for that. I'm not here to do nuances. I want your son to get recruited. So if that's, you guys don't believe we helped you with that, so be it. We do expect, though, for other schools that maybe he hasn't contacted with, we expect to be a big part in that because we want to help them. We're on a team here. It's not you against me. We want this to work because if it works, then, he'll be happy.
You're essentially guiding him through this process, right? It should be him initiating these emails. These emails should be coming from him. You're kind of just guiding him through this process is what I'm hearing, right?
Correct. I can never contact the school for him. Never, ever. It's against NCAA rules. He's got to do it on his own. Think about it like this. He's going dating. He wants to go find his future wife. He wants to know exactly what to say, how to say it, so he can impress her. That's my job. I tell you, this is what she wants to hear. This is the gift you should get her. This is the written card she needs tomorrow. She's having she's uncomfortable. You need to follow up again. You have to propose your love. Now you need to draw back and act cool over and over again. That's what my job.
Makes sense.
Very good. So here's the last thing. Because I only work with one player per position per grad year, I tend to prioritize the students that want to work with me the most. Of course, I love high-level players like your son, but everybody deserves a chance to play college soccer if they really want it. So my question to your son is, why do you think you're a good candidate to work with me?
I feel like on the contrary to other recruiting platforms like NCSA, you're one person who's really well versed in this whole realm of recruiting. Whereas NCSA or Sports Recruit or things like that, it's kind of like a big company and almost you're doing all the work that you could be doing without them. Whereas you're helping me through this process when you know exactly how to guide me the next steps to take.
I appreciate your compliments. I'm going to ask you one more. I love what you said, so I appreciate it. I want to ask you one more time. Why do you think you're a good candidate for me? If you had to sell me, college coaches are going to ask you the same thing one day. Why should you play on my team? So this is me saying, I can only work with one goalkeeper. Why should I work with you?
Because the same effort that you put into me, I'll reciprocate. All the meetings, I'll always be there. All the videos, I always have them on time or early. Things like that.
Good answer. That's what I like to hear. From your parents' perspective, I want you guys to think about this. I don't expect you to decide today. It does mean I need an answer in 24 hours. If in 24 hours you say, hey, Zev, we have a question, we want to, whatever you have a question about, please email me. I'm happy to answer it. But I just need to hear something in 24 hours. Otherwise, out of respect for the other students, I have to let them decide.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, cool. Having said that, I'm going to email everything over. You'll see the contract. The contract says if his grades drop below a 3.8, he's fired. You got your video sorted. And then it will explain that I need a self-interview, which we'll talk about, And it will also explain if in 3 months you're not being genuinely recruited. It's not my definition. It's NCAA's definition of genuinely recruited. Then you fire me. Sound good?
Yeah.
Okay, very good, everybody. It was a pleasure talking to you all. I really enjoyed it. Like, your son's a great goalkeeper, and it'd be very fun. So stay in touch, and we'll talk soon.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Okay. Da-da-da-da-da. Okay. Sorry guys. User 1933. Please don't ask questions over and over again. It's not nice to everybody else. My son is pretty good. He's 10. Any clubs that you recommend in Orange County? Yes, there's a ton of clubs in Orange County I recommend. Please give me a call. You'll see a section specifically for 10-year-olds. Do UK anything AB Brandeis University Soccer? I'm sorry, I don't know what that means. But Brandeis is really good. My kid is 12, playing U14. How can I get him more exposure? Please book a call. When it comes to the kids under 8th grade, we have a specific program for you guys. Why aren't you watching Copa? I have a monitor actually right behind you. So I am watching Copa. But I was also on a call, so I don't want to watch it during the call. How do I make sure it's good? My son is... if I play CSL and I'm flight 1, can I go far or should I leave the team? You're not going to go probably D1. You can maybe go D3. And again, this is subjective, but on paper, there's truth to that. At which age should I start talking to you? I recommend 7th, 8th grade, but it depends on your situation and the level you are. User 819 thinks I'm a moron. Thank you for your feedback. Tell me what you think so I can improve. I'm 15. I play in Italy and I'm in Los Angeles. I play in Italy and I'm in Los Angeles for off-season. Could you suggest anywhere to train? UCLA. UCLA is pretty good to train. Yeah. Bear halter out. At which age should I start talking to you? Okay. How do I get footage for a highlight reel? And should I highlight? Record with your iPhone and you can upload it to wevideo.com and edit it. Do you have a room for 27 goalie girl? It's too late to start the process. Rachel, Scott, it's not too late. I do not have a 27 goalkeeper girl, but I would need to know her GPA and also video. So Rachel, I'd love to talk to her, but if you could submit it to the link in the bio, that would be epic. Then we could schedule a call. Okay. Okay, perfect. You're welcome, Miss Rachel. No problem. Okay, over here. Any questions on the IG? Nope. Any questions on the YouTube? I mean, player, which state team? Hello. Is it better to play 2 years up knowing I get less playing time? Depends how old you are, Livid. Depends how old you are. Can you watch my highlight video on my channel? If you submit it to the Discord, I can watch your video. Nobody submitted their video to the Discord. Okay. You guys can do it next time if you want. I'm 15-year-old international playing for my local team. I'm interested in doing college soccer. Albert Tornes. Click the link in the bio. There's a specific section for you internationals that can help you out. Okay. I've been alive for 2.5 hours, so I'm gonna go eat and chill for a bit. I know you guys probably have questions, which is very reasonable. I want to help you with all of your questions as soon as I can. So please give me a call and I can help you further there. And yeah, if you have any questions, let me know. Thanks so much. 54 people. I don't want to say goodbye to 54 people. That's so sad. Okay, I can hang out for a little bit longer. What time is it? 5:23. I'll do 5:30. I have to leave at 5:30. I need to eat. Okay. All right, let's see. In that section for any age, Albert Tornes, you're an international, so click the one that says for internationals. Do colleges look for defenders, or do they just want the best players? No, they definitely look by position. They are not looking for the best players, by position. If I live in Mexico, can I go pro? I only help with college soccer. Sorry, dude. I can only help with college soccer. Only college soccer. Is it too late for a class 25 to get recruited? It depends what schools you want to get recruited by. If a 2025 you want to get recruited by an Ivy League school, you're making your life difficult. It's not technically impossible, but you're making your life difficult. So I would recommend not aiming for that school right away, but it's still possible. You've made your life difficult. That's the main thing. That is the main thing. Gotta go signature. Okay. Da-da-da-da-da. Dun, 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 dun. Do you think playing for Louisville City Academy will get me noticed by D1, D2 schools? Typically, yes. I want Argentina. How do I get exposure to college recruiters by the end of my senior year, which is coming? Click the link in the bio. There's a lot that you need to do. Should I apply for a call even though I'm 15? I'm sorry for Brian being irritating. Just curious. If you want to help, Mr. Tornes, then you can apply. If you don't want to help, you don't have to. Do you think I can play college soccer being a senior? I'm not interested in playing D3. Depends your GPA, your grades, your club level, and your ID camp situation. So I don't know the answer to that question, unfortunately, unless I could see you. If I could see you, or I mean, I could see your video, then I could give you a better answer. I just don't know. I'm sorry. I'm not trying to be difficult, I promise. Okay, hold on, everyone. Gotta check something out real quick. Okay. Okay. Is that? Okay. Okay. All right. Sorry, guys. I know I'm busy at the minute. I'm going to get you everything you all need. Okay. All right. I said 5:30. It's past 5:30. Okay. Too late for D1 Women's Soccer 2025. Not too late, but very difficult. That's difficult. Thank you, everybody. I'm going to go. It's been a pleasure. Really, truly. I will be live tomorrow, Wednesday, but then I'll be gone until next week, probably. When Thursday, Friday, I'm going to take off. Well, I'm going to work, but no live. And yeah. Do you recommend multiple college ID camps or the individual ones? And how would I find those ID camps, especially the multi-college ones? Ethan, I have a list for you. You can go on my YouTube page. You'll see all the videos. And the answer is it depends on your situation. I vary my suggestions per player. I'm sorry. If you want, Ethan, give me a call. Okay.